25. Let's go!
I'm hearing sounds in the city, girl. Listen, thinking the ways that I could try to stand kick it. I can't help myself. My niggas like, oh, you pussy whip, you shouldn't get caught up from that one trick. But shit happens as soon as you start macking. And I ain't even the type to start acting. So true. I look at you and see my queen to be the life for eternity. I'll take it to the ecstasy. Without the buzz, cause that might be the death of me. And I'm trying to show you some new scenery.
Wieder einsteigen, wieder einsteigen. Eine Fahrt, noch.
Working like it's supposed to. I'm thinking it go postal. I need some space to think like in the coastal. Find all
Look at that view. The Galaxy building. World's biggest half pipe. That perfect little mini pipe sucks you in. You can't go down this hill without jumping into that mini pipe. And on the left-hand side of that picture, you would have seen the Slopestyle course, which is what's going to take a battering today from the world's best free skiers and snowboarders. Do not adjust your sets. The man sat next to me is Mr. James Woods. Oh. Hey, you did. Tim Warwood did a podcast with Woodsy last night. Give us the same intro for Woodsy that you did for the podcast last night.
No, don't.
It
went something along the lines of. It went something along the lines of. He was forged in the beating heart of Sheffield.
Steel City.
Much like the steel, this man is a product of the dry slope. He was robbed of, sadly,
Stop
3 Olympic podiums.
Is this happening because I was late this morning?
He has World Championship medals, he has World Cup medals, he has X Games medals, and most of those are gold. Go wild for the man, the myth, the legend. It's James Woods, everybody.
Oh, yes. I'll give it up for Woodsy. I'll give it up for that intro as well.
No, you're more than welcome. No, you've stood on top of a podium once or twice, haven't you? You know what it's like to stand on the top spot and look around. But you miss it, crucially, don't you?
Of course. I mean, yeah, I've been very fortunate. You got to be lucky in the game, and I've been extremely lucky. So I'm grateful for every opportunity I've had, and I mean, including this one. Thanks for having me.
Now you get to sit between us. We're making a little Woodsy sandwich. The big news today is that for the men, the road starts here. The female free skiers set off yesterday, but for the men now, it all starts here, and they've got qualifiers, semis, and finals to fight their way through. And there are no free passes, are there?
Absolutely not. No,
like,
no.
if you're Birkrud, if you're Jesper Schade, it doesn't matter, Colby Stevenson, whoever you are, you've got to fight your way from the start to the very end if you want to stand on top of that podium.
Yeah, absolutely. The semi-final aspect is beneficial in a way, because today there is a much more lenient cut. But then, of course, what that means is that if you're going to go the whole way, you got almost a whole nother competition to trudge your way through.
Yeah, we're going 60 to 30, are we today, roughly?
20, 24, something.
24,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
To my knowledge, there'll be no math involved today.
Unfortunately, Tim, there's going to be a hell of a lot. We're going to be crunching some big scores. We've got 60 skiers, roughly, and 60 snowboarders, and they're each going to get 2 runs in qualies. So we're going to be looking at 240 runs of action today. So I don't expect you to be paying full attention all day, but you can leave us on in the background, have a little chuckle, and enjoy some of the best free skiing and snowboarding action you will find anywhere on the globe right now. Because like we said it in the pre-show, didn't we, up on the roof on the socials, everyone who is anyone is here, because the battle for Milan is real now.
Yeah, it starts right here, doesn't it? Qualification, getting those all-important points on the board. But that is quite a bit away. And you've got to remember that this is the LAAX Open, and we spoke about this last year. This is the one, certainly for snowboarding, for years it has been the one everybody wants to win, but now it's creeping in skiing. This is the one everybody wants to win. They want to take these home in their bags, don't they?
Look at these bad boys. They are so heavy. Have a little way of that. It's like a dumbbell. I don't know if I
trust myself. Yeah, that's right. You say everyone wants to take it home in their bag, but everyone wants one of these shipped home for them. No one wants to carry that in their hand luggage.
Oh man, I reckon that's at least €50 of excess baggage at Zurich Airport. 100%.
Woodsy, you've been out there. You've seen the course.
Yes.
You saw what went yesterday with the women. You know the homies out there. You know a lot of your boys are out there in the start hut. They're warming up as we speak. What's the feeling? What's the mood? Why is this the one everybody wants to win and do well at?
Well, it's an event with a lot of heritage, obviously. You know, prior to the LAAX Open, which is obviously such a big event, there's an amazing production around it. Whatever it is that LAAX brings, there is a buzz around it. There's so many people turn up for the finals on this week. I mean, the overriding feeling for me at a big event like this, where there are lots of eyes on it, there is a big production, is like, if you don't make this final, it's almost as if you weren't there.
Ooh,
you know,
ouch.
That's how I felt. You know,
it's a burn.
Brutal. Like, that's how it feels when you're up there on qualifications day. That's why there's arguably more pressure on the qualifications day than even on the finals. Once you're in the finals, you're there. Okay, it's time to open it up. Go for broke, like rock and roll. You're in the show. Like, I mean, that's me talking from my personal experience. So I'm sure some of that overlaps. But a day like today, it's qualifications. As you said, there's going to be so many runs today. Everyone's coming in.
And there's 60 men, but the top 30, what we've seen from all of last year's comps, from the big airs, from Stubaira's second World Cup of the season now, like the top 30, it's such tiny margins between everyone. There's so little to like leeway. So even if you're ranked in the top 10, there's no, like you say, no guarantees you make in final.
Absolutely. We saw it in the ladies yesterday. Sorry for interrupting.
No.
The three of the favourites, Rel Harwood, Lara Wolf, and then, oh my gosh, I'm being awful right now. My goodness. Sorry, everybody.
Don't get me wrong, I'm in your camp. I couldn't help you out there.
They was the first three to not make that cut.
Yeah.
And that is a
9 to
surprise
12,
for everyone.
yeah.
Exactly. So it really is all pressure on. But something that's fantastic about this is we got qualies, we got semis, we got finals. So by the time we get to finals day, we're going to be right here and we're going to be watching these dudes and ladies with so much confidence through this park. They're going to know it, like every single inch of it. I'm really excited.
Well, we just had a couple of really nice shots down the park, and we've talked about all of the big names, but the reality is that every year at LAAX, the star of the show, the real star of the show, is this course. And as Woodsy just said, we saw women's Freeski Slopestyle qualifiers yesterday. So we got the winner of yesterday's qualification, first place qualifier, Eileen Gu, to take a lap through the course. This is her guide to the LAAX Open Slope course.
Hi, I'm Eileen Gu, and I'm currently here at the LAAX Freeski Open, and I'm super excited. One thing that sticks out is that there are 8 features, which is, I would say, more than normal, so that's one thing. And then the second thing is that there's a lot of transition features and a lot of lines, so you have to be pretty athletic and adaptive to be able to get through the whole course. Right up top, we have this horizontal rail. It's totally new and very creative, a lot of room for interpretation there. After getting past that rail, there's a set of 3 down-esque rails. So there's a down rail, a down flat down rail, and then a down donkey rail. For there, I think we're going to look to see a lot of spinning on, maybe some combinations from the horizontal rail. The next rail set, we have an up rail set. So we either have an up rail cannon or a big rainbow rail. First jump, I would say probably like 45 feet. Not massive, but definitely big enough to see some serious spins on. Next up, we have something called either a bat wing or a Wu-Tang. It allows the skiers especially to kind of carve into it, to have a little bit of style there. Lastly, we have this shark fin feature, which is kind of like a half pipe, but also not really. You have the option to kind of take off at this 45-degree angle and jumping onto this really long and steep landing. And then down at the bottom, we have a quarter pipe, which is a ton of fun, especially for people who have a little bit of half pipe experience like myself. One thing that's kind of interesting is that it's pretty tight with this rail section at the bottom. You really have to be on it in your landing and then coming into the final feature. Land it, hopefully, and that's the run.
Well, pretty impressive there. It is a challenging course. A lot of athletes out there have said that it's one of the most difficult that they've come across. But I say difficult, but they're all enjoying it. That was Eileen's thoughts on it. These are the numbers, though. Woodsy, talk us through this in terms of size and scale.
Totally. And like you say, one of the reasons of the difficulty is that everything is so mixed and matched. There's so many different options. There's a variety. Every single feature has got a different takeoff, a different entrance, a different angle. To be honest, if for nothing else, it's going to be really difficult to be a ski tech. Like, what do you do? How do you prep the skis to be ready for all of this range of, features?
Well, it takes a while to run in those rails as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we said actually yesterday, didn't we? We were saying that or you dubbed it, metal, air and transition, and then of course you back that up because how do you tune your skis for that? You were kind of want it as round as the table edge, don't you? Is that what you were saying? Your edges?
Maybe not
Just
quite that much,
underfoot.
but you just want to take off a little bit of bite so you slide good on the rails, but then that's gonna eat you alive once you're flying up these like vertical walls and these takeoffs. So we saw it in the ladies yesterday.
Yeah.
Like you could see in those slow-mo replays just who's not got quite enough bite on their ski for those takeoffs.
I want to see a GS turn into the shark fins at the bottom.
This is something. So yeah, this is something that I sort of wanted to iterate yesterday. Is like, you know, when you watch the big downhill events and it's like, wow, they're going so fast, they're on such an edge, they're holding it, it's amazing. I love skiing. I love to be like on an edge and plowing it. What you don't see on the TV is that at those events, it's iced, like they water it, and it's off camber. Like they don't make it easy. They make it as difficult as possible. And of course, these features are designed to boost and get some good tricks off, but it's not easy. It's not like going off one of those jumps that we've all hit, like boom, and taking it, the knuckles fragile, it's all right for you to just clip it. Everything you have to be absolutely on point for on this course.
Okay, let's take a closer look at it with the course animation. We've got a little graphic here that we can show you all of the numbers from the course itself. So straight afterwards, we've got, this one's a really tricky one, that hitching post, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's likened as what we heard from Eileen to down the bottom. It's like straight from that hitching post into the first set of rails.
And then onto the cannon and the rainbow, you got, like, you're starting to put the hammer down there and get the speed up, aren't you?
Yeah, you got to build speed off that second rail pad for this first jump. 16.5 meters, but it is a flat pitch. So if you've come off those first rails wobbly, your speed is going to be affected all the way down, even here into the Twisted Sisters.
And now we're talking transition, because you've got a little bit of transition there, but to find the angles and get these right.
Absolutely. And again, this quarter pipe, it's a huge quarter pipe. The size of that thing is whopping, and it's on a horrible 45-degree angle. And then, as we heard from Eileen, you got to slam on the brakes. You got to be on the exact right angle for this down rail section. We've even got an elbow in there, which is just another rail just to put you off balance right at the end.
I've got high hopes today. Mattis Fanza, the man who TJ Schiller called the least predictable man in skiing. That elbow down at the bottom's got a little bit of Jersey barrier to it. So you could actually, I think we might see a bit of wall ride in there. I've no idea. But if I was looking at it and I'm someone like Mate, I'm like, I can do something different there. There's an extra 2 points in wall riding that.
You know these skiers, you know these riders. Who's going to excel today?
Everybody. That's going to be the hardest bit. I really, really am so glad to not be a judge. I'm so glad to be here. We're going to be able to watch it. We're going to enjoy the show. Everybody's on. I'm so glad you referenced Mate. He's such a sick skier. He is an incredibly unpredictable person, especially so on his skis. He's exceptionally talented, and he is somebody that has, since the first time we saw him, he approaches, slopestyle and skiing in such a different way. And honestly, him and many others, but it's rubbed off, and now everybody, including the judges, everybody knows you have to approach these features in a unique way. You have to put your own flair on it, and we're going to see heaps of that today.
Okay, well, we just had the news through that the start is delayed for 15 minutes. If you joined us on top of the roof this morning, look at that. They put the graphic up straight away. I say it and it appears. 10:15 is the new start time. We've got cloud and snow just hanging around, but it's supposed to blow through from the northwest in the next kind of 15 minutes, obviously, if they've delayed the start until then.
I can see blue skies out the window.
I know, yeah. We've got a couple of mats and curtains stuck up just to stop the glare coming in. But yeah, coaches are going to be doing. What's going on? You've done this dance a million times, Woodsy. When they say, "Okay, 15-minute delay," if you're Lukas Mulauer, stood in the start, he's dropping first. You're stood in the start gate. You're like, "Oh, just let me go. Just let me go."
Yeah, at this point, all you want to do is just get going. You've done your practice. You sort of prepped it to, to the timings that you've known for ages. And everybody gets the start list the day before. So obviously for Lucas, I know we got Max Moffat on screen here. He's dropping early. We got Evan McEachran dropping early. Some big names right out of the gate, which is exciting for us.
Well, we talked about TJ Schiller, didn't we? Troy Podmilitak is up fourth. Tormod Frostrad The big air
boom.
kid, boom, he's in there 5th. Let's have a little look through this list and run you through it. So Lucas Mullauer, we said earlier, is kicking it off. Then it's into Sebastian Serve, Evan McEachran, Troy Podmilsack, Tormod Frostad, Mac Forehand, Max Moffat, Burke Rude, Ben Barkley, Miro Tabak. Wow, it is heavy.
It's heavy
hit.
this first heat.
It's so heated. That is such an absolutely insane way to start things off. And you asked, like, what's it like? You know, you're up there, you've got a plan, you've got to stick to it. You get a 15-minute delay call. You have no idea how long those 15 minutes are just going to continue for another 15, another 15. All you can do is take the runs while the park's open, keep your body warm, keep your head in the game.
I was going to say, keep lapping.
Yeah,
isn't it, at that
keep
point?
lapping, stay warm, make sure, you know, you're in the zone, you're sort of ready for anything.
Have you had any gossip? What's the gossip on the WhatsApp chat?
Oh my
What are people
gosh.
saying about the course? People loving it? People hating on it? What's the any particular feature that people are talking about?
We don't need to talk about that right now. We've got 15 minutes. I think the thing worth talking
Go
about
on.
is the wellness that you experienced the other day. Like, that is what's off the chain right now, isn't it?
That is the gossip.
Whose house was it at?
Me?
Yeah,
you went to the Americans.
Oh yeah, man! Holy cow! Yeah, I saw the guys down the bottom yesterday, and they just finished, and they were like, "Oh, you got to come around. You got sauna. We got 6 spa. It's epic." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, that's great. Like, you know, sure."
Like, I've done wellness before.
Yeah,
I've
like
been to
that's
Switzerland
sick. Like, okay, yeah, I was thinking of a hot shower and then like an early night or whatever. It's like, no, you got to come down. We're like 2 villages down. And I was like, I'm probably not going to do that.
Hold
And,
on, before we go any further in this story, we've got to be clear. What kind of wellness do they do? Do they do American wellness with their shorts on? Or do they do Austrian, Swiss wellness with shorts off?
Yeah, well, you got to wonder why they're asking you down. But these are the
You're a good-looking man, Woodsy.
You guys are getting me for being late this morning, aren't you? This is top quality. No, but yeah, Colby was like, you got to come down, got a sick house, and they got the sauna in the place, and it's all like arches, like stonework house. It's really cool. They won the lotto of Airbnb this week as the American team, and it's all like stone, small archways. It looks like
Those Hobbit house.
Exactly. It's so cool. And the sauna's like built into the wall, and then they've got a plunge pool, which was just freezing, and I had to really encourage to go in there. It was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, but if Colby or any of the Americans are listening, I left my shorts down there. So if you can
So it was no shorts. Okay, look at that view of the course. No shortage of little ants running around on it. You can see the skiers just starting to drift through. And if you look down the left-hand side of the fence, you can see a halfway exit. That takes you back to the little drag lift that services the top of the slope run and then the pipe as well. It is such an incredible setup here at LAAX.
Absolutely is, and it's amazing to have those options. It's amazing to have those options, like a quick back up to the top if you need to focus on your rails, like vom, 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 keep it fresh, or if you're going to do that full pull all the way down to the bottom, you know, you've got a nice comfy lift to get back up.
Oh, and let's not forget, on any kind of powder day or slushy day, what you do, you pull out the bottom of the slopestyle course and then you dive into those trees and you're just going down to Falera. Like, that's, for me, Falera's the Airbnb lottery, because you've just got that incredible home run.
All the way down.
It's 2 kilometres of just like 15 to 20 degree jibbing run, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Totally, and with a little definition in those trees as well. Like, you know, when a cloud comes over, it's the fellas in the park with the blue paint. They're the champions until you get yourself down to those trees.
I just had an idea about that. Like, imagine going free riding with one of those dudes in front of you and he just drops a blue line.
That'd be like when you're playing a game. You know when you're racing your
following
ghost.
The ghost guy, yeah.
Exactly. He's like just spitting it out.
I think they
Okay,
had that in Cool Borders, didn't they? Did they have that feature in Cool Borders?
I think they
must
did,
have.
yeah, when
Yeah.
it showed you your best run, didn't
Yeah.
it?
And if you went too slow in the powder, you'd drown and it'd be game over.
Really?
Yeah, do you remember
Stop
that?
in the powder. Go,
Oh, this is a great visual on screen. That's Noah Morrison from Canada. He's someone from my era, a really good friend of mine, following sort of in the footsteps of TJ Schiller, working really closely with one of the individuals right there, Kai Martin. We've seen him on the up and coming.
How important is it? Like, because you'll obviously have classic coaches, but do you think, is it a given that a brilliant athlete makes a brilliant coach?
No, it's not a given. No, it's not a given at all. I think it's all about the relationship that you have with the shredder, and everybody is different. Everybody needs different things. Like at the end of the day, you know, we're talking about athletes, we're talking about, you know, doing incredible things in whatever sport it might be, but everybody needs a support network. You know, some people need a friend.
The way you said that,
I didn't mean it because I don't have other friends. No, but
you said it to me. Can you be my friend? To me, like, do you need a friend?
Eddie does need some friends.
I'm not going to name any names here, but I was at a big air recently, and a coach gave me the most wonderful little story.
Go on, name names.
No, it was
Okay,
an
go on.
athlete. Because then it takes away the coach's strategy with the
yeah.
athlete. And I said to him, I was like, where did that trick come from for the athlete? I said, was that always part of the plan? I said, that came from nowhere. And he said, no, that's always been part of the plan. I'm like, what do you mean? I just spoke to the athlete, and they were like, I only decided just before I was doing it. I knew that they were doing that 3 months ago. But if I tell them they're doing it now, they'll be thinking about it for 3 months, coming up with 3 months of excuses why they're not going to do it when I say, do it. If I tell them 8 minutes before, hey, that'd be a good idea, why don't we do that? They're like, yeah, let's do that. I was like,
Oh my goodness.
amazing. So all of the athletes out there listening, that's what they're doing to
That's
me.
what they're doing to you, yeah.
I'm a puppet. I'm just on the end of their string.
And I think that's really cool, and that's such a good example, because it comes back to what I was saying. It's like everybody's different, and that right there, you know, whoever it was, that shows that whoever they're working with in a coach capacity, a friend capacity, a trainer capacity, they know their athlete. They know
the capabilities.
You know, you've got to know how to draw out.
Look at that, Luca Harrington in there.
Oh, in the orange.
That is a man who is hot right now. We've just had it confirmed, 10:15 start. There is a voice in my ear saying that the start will be in what is exactly 8 minutes time, and it's going to be a double up system of judging. So we've got 2 panels of judges looking at each of the 2 heats. So things are going to be very, very quick. You're probably not going to get graphics on screen with scores. So me and Woodsy and potentially Tim will keep you up to speed with those as much as we can. But you're going to get a lot of action very, very quickly on this course as soon as you do that split panel judging. Okay, I like this. Now that they know they're going, you can see the energy's back in the start gate there.
Yeah, the laps are starting. Like now it's like the plan begins. If you know what I mean. Like now, like those practices over. If you're dropping early, you're going to hold yourself in that gate. You're going to stay warm. You're going to have those last-minute chats. You're going to make sure your equipment's all dialed. If you're dropping later in the pack, you're almost leaving those guys to it. You're going to probably do another lap, like we were talking about. Just keep it fresh. Probably just, you know, reset your mind. Make sure that you're just fluid on your skis. You're not.
I got a question for you looking at this now. We talked about the level and how tight the margins are going to be, but like the thing that blows my mind now watching this level of free skiing and snowboarding is the consistency that athletes can deliver. Like, it's utterly ridiculous.
It's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing, the consistency.
Because you're talking about tricks that in some cases, like 16s, 18s, 19s, they can take years to learn and actually say, I've got that on demand. Like, that's one of my tricks for a slope run.
Absolutely. I mean, what is on demand is the thing that always keeps on progressing. And you can see by the names on this start list that these guys are the best in the business. They're incredible. And that level of tricks is always progressing. But if you're going to stay on top, you have to be adapt and have those absolutely on cue no matter when and where you need them.
Okay, so a lot of the heavy hitters in those first 15 names. But as we get further down the list now, any exciting young talent that's coming through that we should be keeping an eye on, Woodsy?
Absolutely. I've heard very good things about Kelly Sildar's younger brother, Henry Sildar. He's, he's fully grown now. I'm sure he's got some buffing out to do, but he's young, exceptionally talented. Obviously, has been like following around in Kelly's wake forever, which is a massive deal. And I've heard good things about what he's been doing in practice and earlier in this early contest season.
There was a name down the bottom there who we watched a couple of years ago at Junior World Champs back in Cadrona, Leo Landro. I was really impressed by the way he skied. Beautiful, fluid Norwegian skier. This is qualification heat 2, so on the other side of the draw. Look at this for a start as well. A-Hall straight into Luca Harrington. I mean, you spent a lot of time with Luca Harrington, again down in New Zealand. Feels like he's cracked the code this year. He's always been good, but delivering in comps, he's like, I've got the confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody arrives at their own pace. Everybody arrives at a different time. It's like there's no formula. You don't need to be winning something at 16. You don't have to come in and win right off the bat. Everybody progresses at their own rate. Luca, 21 now, which is incredible to think because he was such a little grommy for the longest time, but so exceptionally talented. He's fully grown now and he's winning.
I remember seeing Luca skiing when he was about 6 or 7 with Ben and Greg down in Cadrona. And it's so funny talking about 21-year-olds that it feels like you've watched for over a decade.
Yeah. They're veterans now.
Absolutely. I mean, he's back-to-back Big Air champion in the last 2 weeks. So he's coming in here feeling really good about himself. I'm sure he wants to prove himself in the slopestyle field now. Like Big Air sort of tick for Luca. He's going to have a heap of points. He's going to be feeling nice and settled about his ability to lay it down. Now he's going to want to prove himself.
Well, when I talked about qualification for Milan earlier, you were like, it's just the start of the road. There is no better feeling than ticking that box in the first couple of events of the year, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to do all the comps. I want to be there. I want to keep my tools sharp, but I can start experimenting. I can start building that run out. I don't need to come first. I can have a play with these.
Absolutely. See what the judges feel about it. See how it affects other people.
Yeah, exactly. See what I can't even get my words out. I'm so excited. See what your tricks are scoring. Start putting down some different things, some different combos.
There's another element here that we have to talk about, and that is in the last 2 seasons we've seen the introduction. The shift away from OI, overall impression by the judges, to sector by sector. How do you feel about it, Woodsy? Which camp do you sit in? Because I know a lot of people are split still.
Yeah, and it's very difficult. When we talk about judging, it's the hardest job in the world. These guys, you're splitting hairs every single day. It's not even a matter of what's better. You've got to judge mistakes against mistakes. You've got to have like a medium and a half run versus an excellent run. And all we actually ever talk about is the excellent range and how you weigh that up against each other. But is it ever excellent versus excellent? No. Everyone's always got a little bit of something left to be desired in their run. There's always a little bit of that. So it is incredibly difficult to judge. I sit in the overall impression camp. If it was up to me, no one would have a pen, no one would have paper except someone in the back that would write down the tricks, and I just wouldn't take my eyes off the screen. That's how I would, because the whole course,
I think that's what judges do. I don't think they take their eyes off.
They make notes on this section by section, So it's like a section of judges will be doing a section on the rail, and that will be their competition. And then as the skier progresses, they'll do each. That's what section by section is. So it's like, yes, each feature is defined really well as part of that score, and I think it is a better system, technically.
Which one? It's sector by
section by section.
Yeah. I've got to say, we've had it for so long in snowboarding, and the judges are experienced with it. I think it's worth sticking with it because the judges have got to. It takes a long time to get yourself in that program, and you have to trust that the OI are going to pick up if you're repeating grabs. Because when you're looking at a sector in its individuality, you're like, you're not going to judge it. Oh, they did a safety back here, they're repeating a safety here. They span left here, they're spinning left here. You're not seeing those repeats. So that is a big job for the OI to really focus in on that variety where the sector by sector can really drill down into execution and difficulty. We could get into this conversation for hours, but Timmy, you're going to go down. You're going to be fit. It's your turn on field reporter today.
Easy.
Do you want my broadcasting expertise?
Go on,
field
yes.
reporter.
Yes, please.
Any aspiring field reporters out there? This is the line I give to everyone.
Hold tight.
Field reporting is a bank robbery. The gold is what's coming out of the athlete's mouth. And if you're speaking, you're burning time in the vault. So we want to hear less from you and more from the athletes.
Bank robber. Hey,
I'm offended. Goodbye, everybody.
No, Tim,
Boys,
come back.
enjoy. This is going to be mega. Can't wait.
Tim Ward officially offended. I love that. Thank you, Timmy. I look forward to hearing him chatting to the athletes down there. He has a unique ability to get intel out of that crew. You can see there, top of the course, we are go at 10:15. We've got full visibility all the way down the course. The blue lines have come out. We've got great definition there. If you're wondering what Woodsy's looking at, Tim's just crawled back under the desk.
What do you mean your shoe? They're the best shoes in the game. I thought you were going to say, field reporting, have a good set of boots on you. Because if you're out there stood in the snow, your toes can get freezing.
Especially if you stubbed your toe on a surfboard fin and nearly cut off your little toe, which is what Tim did in Costa Rica over Christmas, New Year. So, yeah, he's not enjoying wearing squelchy snowboard boots at the moment with 10 stitches in his little toe. Okay, that is the legendary P60 run there. How many laps do you reckon you've done through there, Woodsy?
Oh my gosh,
I reckon I've got more than 500. I came here in 1999.
Yeah.
And I've done a minimum of a week here every year. And you must do average, like least you do is 3 laps a day.
Yeah, definitely. It's been 20 years for me. Every year, 20 years.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it. That's what I realised. I was on the train on the way up, and I was like, how is this feeling normal? You know, because it's such a beautiful train ride in, and you know, just getting back to Switzerland's incredible, and everything runs on time. You know, each train is linked to the bus to the next thing.
Here we go. Lucas Mullauer in the start gate. Okay, the 27-year-old ex-ski racer, absolute savage on the big air, Woodsy.
Yeah, absolute savage in the air. A brilliant skier all round. It's incredible to start thinking about Lucas Mullauer as one of the older guns, you know, that's got experience. Beautiful way to start things off. 270, pretzel 270. What misty 450 out of the cannon. Lucas starting hot and cooking into the first jump. Switch double 14. I thought 14 was going to be the upper limit of the spins that could be done on that first jump. Oh! Switch double 12. Forward switch, double misty 12, and landed just a little bit back seat when he comes in forwards.
Do you think the misty sent him a little bit low?
If you're going to do those misties, you have to get the pitch right off the takeoff and get yourself back into the landing. 720 on the quarter pipe, and that switch 270 disaster on the waterfall just coming loose.
There are only 2 bites at this cherry and then it's gone. It is a very small cherry today, and it's a shake of the head from Lucas Mullauer. He is not happy about that one.
I mean, to come unstuck on the last rail is tragic. It's so hard. We saw him have a little bit of a backseat landing on that switch double misty on the second jump. Incredibly difficult off those twisted sisters. You know, that takeoff is, you know, really at least 45 degrees off.
Okay, so now we're going straight into men's heat run 1, and this is A-Hall opening us up.
Yeah, so this double up judging format is going to go run, heat 1, heat 2, heat 1, heat 2, back and forth. And now we've got Alex Hall, you know, such a veteran, skiing for the USA, the Olympic champion last year. Ooh, that's a nice way to start things off. A nollie 360 over the hitch and post. No touch, absolutely beautiful. Switch 270 up to the rainbow, back 630 off. What a dude. And now he's on to the jump line. That's a double 14 with that lead seatbelt Japan. That's leaning all the way across the body. Bit of a signature mood for A-Hall. Whoa, what the heck? That is the cork 7. Wiggle, wiggle, pump. Oh my goodness, it's all A-Hall right now. He hits.
He's turned the shark fins into a knuckle huck.
Yeah, he did. Oh my goodness, this run is just too much. Give me a second to break it down. Switch 270, pretzel 270 off the last rail. Right, what went down in that? He does the cork 7, holds it to 540 off the twisted sister, cuts in switch to the quarter pipe takeoffs. He doesn't hit them as quarter pipe takeoffs. He takes them from the front and does the bounce off the knuckle, lands all the way at the bottom of that landing. Oh my goodness.
You know that right now, the course designer is in tears.
Happy
with
tears.
joy.
Yes, yes.
He's like, this is what I saw. This is how we wanted this course used. A-Hall understood the brief.
So it's a switch 360 tail butter to bounce to switch 720. So what do we call that? That's like a switch 10 basically. And then he goes into the quarter pipe, and I'm not even sure what to call that. It was like a flare bring back to switch, and he cuts in on a perfect line into that down bar at the end.
Okay, we should be able to see. We're not going to get graphic scores up on screen. Oh, yes, we are. Look at that. Fantastic. So we know that we got William Bollinger. Our DNSs do not start, and neither is Zhang of China. But Lucas Muller with a 45.5. We're going to see A-Hall's scores pop up, but I've got the FIS app open so I can have a good look at the sector by sectors, and we can see what he gets on those shark fins.
It's really interesting.
Because the judges, it's such a different use. You have to give that some weight. But as we're seeing so often in the big air now, you've got 19s, 21s, and then you're scaling that back against the rewind tricks, any of the bringbacks, and it feels like the creative stuff is still just a little bit low. But how many people can do that tail butter? Is it just him being creative, or is it truly unique? That's the question the judges are going to ask.
Exactly, and that's what they're weighing up every single time.
80 points, it's coming. Okay.
Awesome. I like that, in fact, and that's quite a high score.
I think
section
for
by
a
section.
first landed run, it's really high. I think we're going to see a lot coming in the high 60s, low 70s. Look at that, Luca. Oh, sorry, no, we're on Sebastian Sherbet.
Yeah, and proving his rail wizardry there. A couple of swaps on that top bar. Big spin out of the cannon, and he starts it off, with a double Misty 10. Cooking into the Twisted Sister. We're going to see him going absolutely massive on the right side. Double 10, holds it back to 9. How did he land that, Ed?
He had
oh my
no
goodness.
business.
What is his line into this? How does he recover from that? Switch double 9, alley-oop out the shark fin. This is incredible. That was so amazing. Talk about quads for days. Cork 5 in the quarter pipe. And it's the last thing. Can he hold it together? Lip slide 270, front 270 out of the waterfall. Sebastian Server, how did you hold that together?
That was ridiculous, wasn't it?
That was ridiculous. And the thing is, we know every single one of these takeoffs, you need a perfect line in. So he just went absolutely massive. The most blind landing. We can talk more about those bringbacks, but he managed to hold the line switch.
What you can't see is that Woodsy jumped up on his chair. He's actually stood on his chair right now, still commentating. Yes, man. Okay, coming off the back of 2 big air wins, Luca Harrington firing himself up in that start gate. Hamish McDougall stood there next to him. We talked about coaches earlier. I mean, Hamish has been instrumental. His fingerprints are all over Luca's skiing, aren't they?
Absolutely, and Hamish, great skier himself, like in that New Zealand scene, around Cadrona constantly. Has known Luca since he's been a grommet. There's the double fist of respect, and it's all on Luca now.
Okay. Is that big air success going to translate into slopestyle confidence?
Nice, 270 out of the hitching post, switch 2 on, blind 270 off. Nice way to start using the whole feature up top. 270 on, big time cork 630 out of the cannon. That is a statement.
Stalled looking over his shoulder, didn't he?
Easy cheesy. Oh my goodness, and to the bottom line with a switch double 14 blunt to the right, to the left. Oh my goodness, their last line every single time. We thought it was special from Sebastian, but apparently it's standard procedure. Double 10 out of the shark fin. Lucas coming in fast into the QP. He knows how to ride a transition. 900 with another blunt. Beautiful to the right. And the left side, 270 on. You're joking. You're joking.
Ooh. It is so hard to slow down, get that adrenaline under control.
Yeah.
But bottle the adrenaline up and it's a simple rail. He's done that a million times in his sleep. And then you just pop off it a tiny bit early.
Fancy that though, you know what I mean? That's the classic thing. Fancy coming off that 270 just a tad early. Hitting the waterfall, if you're not on the waterfall rail perfect, it's not a kink, it's a drop. So if you're not on absolutely perfectly, it's just going to slide you straight off. But
Beautifully built run.
Yeah,
I really
beautiful.
like that. There was a little bit of everything. We talked about it yesterday when we were doing the numbers. Each of those lines is about 3 meters. You're 16.5 meters to the first blue line. It's 28 to the 5th line. He did 2 28-meter tables in a row there.
Yeah, it was incredible and stomped them absolutely flawlessly.
Okay, so we got Sebastian Server, 77.25 in Heat 1 is leading. A-Hall on a flat 80, waiting for Luca Harrington's score as Evan McEachran drops in for his first run.
Another switch double 14 on the first jump. Switch double 12. He goes double grab, finishing it on the double Japan, and he's cooking in really nice line from Evan. Double 10 on his mute and Japan grab. Double in that up in the double 10. Big travel distance on a right side flare, and then he's going to hit the elbow. Front swap through the elbow. Front side at 270 out. A beautiful, technically executed run from Evan McEachran. Oh, it's good to see a smile from Luca there. He knows that he put down such a great run, but it just come unstuck at the end. He'll got round 2 to do. But right there, you see such an experienced competitor in Evan McEachran. A beautiful run. Put it down. He knows there's a little bit of in and out cloud. He knows how important it is to lace that first run.
That's such a good point. That comes into play so quickly, doesn't it, when you have that a little bit of experience. I remember the moment you get a bit of cloud, a little bit of wind, you're looking for those more experienced riders, and you know they're going to come to the fore today.
Everyone wants to put down their first run. They just do, but the absolute importance, you don't have 2 runs. You've got the run in front of you right now. That's it. And if you can do it on the first, the pressure is just so much off you on the second run.
Look at you. You could be a coach, Woodsy. Okay, dropping in now. We have Connor Ralph.
270 on, front swap through the kink on that down, flat down, cooking in switch, 270 up to the top of the rainbow, backside 450 off. It's got a nice stance coming in switch. I like this. It's calm, it's composed. It's a switch double 12, holding Japan, a very unique axis. I like the way they had that late dip on the second cork there. Right side double 14 safety off the Twisted Sister. That is a big spin for a interesting takeoff. Left side double 12 out of the shark fin, and it's switch. The first person we've seen come switch into the QP, and it's a nice switch. Cork 7 from 450 to switch on the gap to down bar.
Big punch into the poles there, wasn't there? He was happy with that one, but let's pick it apart. Like, we've just had Luca Harrington's score come in, 65.25. For me, that was, maybe it was a little loose on some of those bigger landings, but the amplitude should have balanced that out for me. But the fact that he's maybe dropped 7 or 8 points from where I would have expected to see him, just for missing that end of the rail. Maybe there was some more holes in there, but
honestly, if you come off a rail early, I mean, I'm surprised to see such a high score for Luca, if I'm honest. It was a fantastic run, but with a glaring mistake like that, I'm surprised he's even up there on the top half of the points.
Connor Ralph, yes, it was tech coming into the quarter pipe, but put ourselves in the judge's head, the amplitude was very low.
Yeah, we saw an excellently executed run from Luca, and honestly, everyone, like we saw from Evan, like, it's got to be perfect.
Yeah, that's what the judges want to see. Very casual over the rainbow.
Yeah, we got T-Pod en route right now, and now there was a little slip up on that first rail, and you can see, yeah, these are big chicks. It's a switch Misty 1080, but it does feel like he's ever so slightly on the back foot. Switch by 09 the other way. It feels to me, due to that slip up on the first rail, he's using this as another practice run. Right side double 10.
There's no urgency on the takeoff or landing, is there? He's almost cruising through this, enjoying himself now.
It's incredible to say so on such an incredible run, but we know how much Troy actually has in the tank, and he does know as well. Had a little mess up on the first rail. I'm going to put this run down, treat it as another run of practice, but as well, as we saw from Luca, he's going to get some points on the board. It's not a throwaway.
Luca and Troy both are in desperate need of that Men in Black little memory eraser thing. They want to wander into the judges, but just forget that you saw that last rail on my run. Forget that you saw that first rail on my run. Big scores waiting in those runs if Troy and Luca can just get rid of those tiny little errors. Right now, though, One of the most creative minds in freeskiing, Jesper Schade on course.
Absolutely, and we see it already. A flare over the hitching post. A blender switch 270, back 270 off the first rail. We'll go back to replay on the first rail. It spins on 1 foot, back 270 out of the rainbow. That's an awesome way to do it. Double Misty 10, but he holds it back to 9. That's amazing. We can talk about that technically speaking later. A switch, double 10, again, blender, swapping the shoulder on the takeoff. How you do that on a normal jump, I don't know. How you do that on a twisted takeoff, I really, really don't know.
Alley-oop out of the high side. There's so many elements of that. Surely, look at
What
that.
the heck? A switch front flip, shifts it to Misty in the quarter pipe, and a switch 2, pretzel 2.
That was beautiful.
You know what I love about that? Is you can see Jesper Schade is playing. He's able now. He's always been one of the most creative skiers in the game, and he's a vet now, absolutely. But he's like, oh, what? You guys want to see my creativity? Sweet, let me shine. Jesper Schade's got another 10 years in this game, easy peasy, because they want to see you approach these things differently. Like we've seen it, Jesper just did a 900. Alex Hall did a 540, technically speaking.
And there's the coaches are saying that. Like, if you're watching this, if you're doing your homework as a coach, look at that, beautiful.
Yeah, lovely approach to the hitching post there. Cork 540 hand drag. Oh my gosh, Tormod Frostad, you are so cool. Switch 360 hand drag over the rainbow rail. I love that. That's something I wish that I had access to the course to do myself. Switch double 10 to the left on the first jump. Hooking it into an absolutely huge switch right side double bio 12 on the twister, and then a left double 10. Ooh, landed a little high. Not as big as we wanted to expect that from Tormod. Quarter pipe, right side flare, holding Japan throughout, and then on to the waterfall where we saw Luca come unstuck. Not the same for Tormod. A 270 on, front side 270 off.
Little flappy butter out the bottom as well. I like that.
Attitude.
Tormod definitely feeling this course. That you picked up on it straight away, though. The shark fin landing, very, very, and that stands out because we've seen so many people going line 4, line 5 into the thug zone there.
Thug zone, yes, and it so is.
Jesper Schade slotting in there with a 76. Quick rundown: Evan McEachran 86, highest score we've seen so far, followed by Sebastian Server on 77.25. T-Pod down there on the 54, like Luca Harrington, still hunting, but some big scores. Conor Ralph, Jesper Schade and A-Hall back on course now, though, with Monsieur Morel.
Yeah, Valentin ripping a gnarly 360 over the hitching post there. Lot of attitude as it's a switch 270 on, backside 450 off with a nice shifty on the cannon. Really, really love the way this fella skis. Oh no. That's unfortunate. You saw on his takeoff of that switch right side double 10, he sort of slips off the takeoff, and then you're in a fight in the air to actually put it back round to your feet. Which is unfortunate, but it was a beautiful start to the run. He's, you talk about the thug zone. This guy's got that attitude. He's got really, really low style. He's like low. Oops, coming a little unstuck. And that was less of a cork 5 and more of a down the pipe flat 3. I really like that approach. Everything Valentino Morel touches he puts his own flavour on it for sure.
Okay, we're starting to get a little taste now as we get down here. We are kind of 6 skiers. I think this Mac Forehand's going to be our 7th skier in, and we're starting to get a flavour of what the judges are sending out here. 24 skiers, top 12 from each of these heats going through to the semis. Where do you think that bubble's going to be? Mid-70s?
It's so hard to tell, but what we can tell from the scores right now, even A-Hall, there was a little bobble in there. Evan, I would say, is the only run that's come down without any real glaring mistakes. He's got more to deliver. He can hold those grabs longer. He could go a little bit bigger, as we've seen the bar set from Luca Harrington and from Sebastian Schirver. So the judges are going to want to see these guys going big. All right, they're going to want to see them executing absolutely perfectly, but an 86 for Evan, and then we can compare that to the other heat where A-Hall's in the lead, 80, with a couple of mistakes maybe, or just not perfect execution, but he still posts an 80. So that's the sort of range that we're seeing. I imagine the bubble's probably going to be around the high 70s.
Yeah, we've got I think, let me double check on this. We've got an 8 panel of judges, so it's split 4 and 4. What gets interesting with this, you've got different judges on each heat, so you haven't got that that same, like the level that's set for each one. But I guarantee, like, it'll be really interesting. It does mean that the head judge is running between two panels and trying to keep an eye across it and balance that out. But yeah, head judge,
big job.
Probably got smoke coming out of his ears already.
Oh yeah, I bet. Especially with the heat coming from the beginning of these sessions right now. Like, there's so much good skiing happening right at the start.
Well, we've got plenty of definition here. A little bit of sun.
Yeah, sun's popping out. It's actually looking real nice there for Mac forehand. Just eyeing this up. I don't know what the hold is because it seems like Valentin was smooth through there. But Mac forehand, #1 bib in the gate, ready to do it. He's been told that it's going to be back-to-back heats. Just he's not ready to be waiting right now. So Mac forehand handling the pressure, much the same as sort of dropping last in the finals.
Yeah, we've still in this first heat. It goes Mac forehand, Max Moffat, Burke Rube, Ben Barclay.
What a lineup.
Yeah.
All right, a flare over the hitching post for Mac forehand into a switch to backside 270 off, similar to what we saw from Jesper Tjeda, but then a 270 on, front 630 off the top of that rainbow. A beautiful way to continue his speed into a trick like that. That's a switch, 1440, holding the safety. It was a beautiful shifty to put it round to his feet, and then a switch, left side 12, going with the flow of the sisters there. That was a really nice way to start it off, and that's a nice boost. Left side double 1080, reaching back for blunt, not just the tail, right on the end, capped. And was that a nose butter cork 7?
Yeah.
Oh yes, and I love a switch 450 disaster. Beautifully put down there from Mac.
Very, very strong run. Like you said, there is no such thing as perfection, but very few mistakes there for the judges to pull out. Like, it was going deep. It was line 4 easily on the Twisted Sisters. I'm a big fan as well on the shark fins, that third and final jump. He's hit the right-hand kicker, but he's spinning left down. If you're splitting hairs, I think that the alley-oops offer a little bit of safety sometimes when you're steering up the transition, but
strength in holding your rail as you come on up. However, in the half pipe, yes, but you have an absolutely mandatory distance to travel down into this landing now.
Very good point.
Like, it depends on what you're doing. If you're leaning yourself into a rodeo, yeah, maybe easier to spin the alley-oop direction up upon yourself. But if you're spinning down the way, I'd almost prefer to spin with the direction of travel.
Oliver Magnusson, the Swede, on course now. 80 points. His target, A-Hall, at the top of Heat 2 at the moment.
That's something to look for when Oliver is skiing. Watch him stomp his skis into the ground every single time. He means every single movement that he makes. The Iceman, there's no other way to say it. But he executes. You see what I'm saying? It's like he's not a degree off with either of these tricks. That switch, double. Oh, there we go. We see the alley-oop, just as we were talking, leaning into the bio rodeo rotation, double 10. And it's just gorgeous the way that he floats it around from that takeoff.
But he did come up a little short.
Well, that's... Oh, no! Again! What are the judges going to do with that 450 on to switch on that last rail? It's hard to tell because he sort of did get to the end, but he split just slightly. So it's not tragic, but it is going to be a tiny little mark against his name. But we've seen lots of high scores with little mistakes. But I think it was pretty good, except for maybe that lack of amplitude out of the shark fin. But he was spinning in the alley-oop direction.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that trick, actually.
He took off a long way back as well. Yeah. It was, I think, 3 meters further back than that little last blue line that is almost a hip. Back up at the top, Max Moffat, the Canadian, absolute powerhouse.
Honestly, I love that we're going back-to-back judging format right now because it's like watching a movie. It's just non-stop action, straight from Oliver Magnusson into Max Moffat. Now, every time Max drops in, you want to watch because he's going to approach it ever so slightly differently. Rodeo with a tail tap off the side of the hitching post. Switch slip on. No, no, no! What? Ow! That looked not that nice. It was... Something was off on that for Max Moffat. And he does... Oh, no. I think he might be okay. It's just he landed hard from what is quite a high rail on the down flat down, and I think more than anything that was a surprise hit because Max Moffat does not come off a rail early.
Well, he had he loads up the ski on rails, doesn't he? You can see him putting so much pressure in, and when that popped, like he had no idea that that was coming.
No, exactly, and I'm so glad you brought that up because he comes on with an almost relaxed switch lip slide, and then he's going to take the kink of the down flat down, and it looked like he was loading up the skis for a big spin out because he wasn't quite on perfect. He only came out at like 270, and you can see that his head was like leaning in for a big spin. So when he hit the snow, he didn't see it coming. If you know, and I say snow, people think snow's soft. That is bulletproof ice right now.
Well, there's maybe a couple of millimetres of fresh snow from this morning's skiffs floating around, but Colby Stevenson is about to drop in for Heat 2. The hits keep coming. This is a Jerry Bruckheimer of a blockbuster for qualifiers. There's just action, action, action. Look at the names now. Like, look at who we've just seen. You got Jesper Schade, Luca Harrington, A. Hall, Connor Ralph. You got Colby Stevenson dropping in Heat 2. Meanwhile, you've got Evan McEachran, Tormod, Mac, Sebastian, and then Burke Rude about to drop. This is a greatest hits of modern free skiing slopestyle.
I got goosebumps, man. I actually do have goosebumps. Colby Stevenson. Switch 540 with a tail tap over the hitching post. That's sort of one of the biggest spins we've seen there. Switch 2, press 2 out of that.
Nice little lock to bring that Pretz in as well. Oh, went deep there.
Yeah, cutting it out of that top of that rainbow. I like to see that. A lot of people using that rainbow and carrying their speed through into that first jump. Now Colby switch left side into twist. It's just a really low profile line. Oh my goodness. Holds it. Switch 720 to nose butter on the knuckle. Spins it back round to forward. That is amazing. And a nose butter through the shark fin. If you're going to do nose butters, if you're going to do these presses, you have to make sure it's absolutely visible from the judges. Right side 720 from Colby. Lands a little low switch, but it's not a problem for his switch 270. That was excellent. If you're going to land switch deep in that QP and still manage to get yourself together for going on switch onto those rails, that's a sign of a pro.
A mistake on the Twisted Sister, taking off that low?
You know what? This man doesn't make mistakes, and he won't make a mistake on his approach into the jump. Everything he does is going to be deliberate. There's no way that Colby Stevenson took off so low profile and clipped that knuckle if he didn't intend to.
Okay, let's see if the judges agree with you. Burke Rude getting ready to drop, the Norwegian powerhouse.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting.
He's a snow savant, isn't he? Savant, even.
Yeah, excellent on a snowboard, excellent on skis. Nose butter 540 over the hitching post without a touch, arguably harder than tapping it. Switch 270, misty 450 off the cannon, a beautiful way to exit the rails and enter the jump. Switch right side, double 1440, tucked up in a ball and a safety there, just getting over the knuckle.
Have you noticed how the drone pilot's keeping him in between the graphics too?
I do like that. It's awesome, and it's a left double 10, really big. That's the sort of amplitude that we want to see out of the shark fin.
100%.
Burke excellent in the half pipe and shows that transition riding with a massive right side flare. 270 front, 270 out. Nice.
Rightly claimed there, I feel. What's the hardest trick in transition?
Going big.
And what did he do?
Went massive.
Like easily. Like it was so clear. If we can see it, the judges are like, "Oh yeah, you're nearly double the height of everyone else that we've got in the low 70s here." We have to put on the sector by sector, we have to put that high. But we saw it in the shark fin, we saw it everywhere. The OI is going to max, the sectors are going to max. I think we're going to see a big score here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be real nice. You know, he brought it all together. You know, I think you can see it even from Burke in the way that he's skiing. Like the tricks he's doing, he's got more, but he put down a perfect run.
Colby Stevenson, 68.25. Judges didn't like that Twisted Sister.
That's interesting to me, to be honest with you. Andre Rigetti with a similar line through the cannon. Switch 270, misty 450 off. It's back-to-back action. I can't even believe it's not even time to introduce these dudes right now.
I love how diplomatic you were about that. That's interesting. We'll come back to this.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that heaps, but maybe he made another mistake. A beautiful run thus far from the hometown boy, Andre Rigetti. Switch alley-oop double 900. A simpler trick, but so hard to execute.
And again, going big.
A 900 to the right, which just seemed to match him perfectly into that waterfall rail where he put a 450 disaster. Andre Rigetti, the man that's going to execute, there's no doubt about it.
Oh, he looked immaculate, didn't he? Top to bottom there.
Yeah, you can see him doing exactly as he intends to. It's trick-based. He's ticking the boxes. He's giving the judges everything that they want to see. A lot of switch in that run, which I like.
Okay, so back in Heat 1, and it's the Kiwis' turn. Winner at Font Romeu. It's his first World Cup win. Ben Barclay, and he makes being taught
Looks so good. He really does. And Ben's another one of the Kiwi guys that honestly just came from up-and-coming Grom into excellent world-class freeski and really owning his space up here with the biggest dogs in the world. Ben cutting in switch to the side of the hitching post. A nice chill switch 360 with a tail tap. That's to the left. No, Ben Barclay. What has just happened? He cuts in switch right side 270. His hands are in the air. He doesn't know anything what's happened there. Similar to what we saw from Max Moffat. Something just got under his skis and he didn't get his tail up onto that rail. That is super unfortunate, particularly as we see a break in the clouds. A nice sunny patch for Ben Barclay's first run. There's where it all went wrong. Yeah. Switch right side 270 and a classic kiss of death. Just didn't get his tail over the ski. Oh no, we get to watch it in extra super slow-mo. Sorry, Ben. Yeah, that's just really annoying and there's nothing else to say about it.
Well, I feel a little bit robbed. He's one of those skiers who can generate so much rotation. He uses his edges and his size so beautifully. Love watching that boy spin. Okay, another one of the home favourites. It is Fabian Bosch dropping in.
Yeah, big pressure dropping at home. Big Swiss crowd's going to be here on the weekend. If anyone wants to be in this final, it's anyone with that Swiss flag next to their name. So Fabian Bosch, nollie 360 with a little nose step over the hitching post. Right 270 on pretzel, 270 as he hides behind the numbers. Left side 270 on, front side 450 off. Awesome, but we're going to need to see a lot of switch out of Fabian Bosch right now as he comes in forwards to the first jump. Right side double 12. Switch, right, yeah, this is going to have to be the switch portion of the run. Switch to 12, lands forward, goes massive, another forwards hit. He's got to give us some more switch. Come on, Fabian Bosch. Yes, there it is, to 12. Ooh. Out of the shark fin, a little.
He was really tucked up, only just squeezed that landing in.
Oh my goodness.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful match of the transition with the switch rodeo 540 back to switch 270 on. Just when I was worried he didn't put enough switch in, he does the hardest bit of the course backwards.
Oh, he landed fully squatted though out the shark fins, didn't he?
Full squat.
Yeah, he's definitely been doing his weighted squats.
A beast. Yeah, and a beautiful run. And you can see again from Fabian Bosch, he's executing his runs like he needs to. Cap in blunt right there on the 12. He needs to make sure that he lands and he gets through to the next round into the semi-finals.
Okay, so Heat 2, it's fairly settled there up at the top. Rigetli on an 88, very clear. Ahead of A-Hall, Jesper Schade 76, Conor Ralph 72. Miro Tabanelli, the Great White Hope for Italy, going into Milan, drops a pole on the second rail feature there. Oh, and you could see his bottle disappointment right there, can't you? He was so gutted.
Yeah, you gutted. That's just a little bit off on that backside 450. You get a perspective of how big these features are just with this shot that we're seeing now. You know, he dropped his pole a second ago, stopped immediately, and he's got about a mile to hike back up there. So that's really good reference. Real shame for Miro, the hero there. We're going to need to see a hero second run from him. He had a lovely down bar, though. He did the 270 on with the noses down, which is kind of just a ridiculous thing to do, to be honest. It's the danger is what we saw happen to Ben Barclay, where he like clipped his tail on the ski, but Miro's like doing that deliberate, you know, like he's like throwing his tails underneath the bar.
Well, we saw his sister Flora yesterday in the women's.
She's his sister.
Yeah.
Get out down. I didn't know that. I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, and I mean they've been working so hard, but there's some, you can see it does work when you look at the Italian team and how quickly they're pushing through this really fresh young talent. You're like, okay, if you chuck a couple of million at a program, you're going to create some great athletes, and that's exactly what's happened. Seen some really, really strong Italian skiers and snowboarders starting to come to the fore. Like Ian Mattioli, first guy to bring 21s into competition.
It's wild. And I'll be honest, where they're shredding all the time, where the Olympics is going to be, up there in Livigno, in Italy. Man, I love that park. That lift laps you around so quick. They know how to build a good jump since before I was born. It's wicked.
Do you want to, because they can't have a test event, they're going to run a really standard straight jump course. 3 straight jumps, no transition on that Olympic course. Like no shark fins, no twisted sisters, no quarter pipes.
That would have been pretty good for me. Switch 540, tail tap over the hitching post. Now, was that a little bit of something to be desired on the down dink? I think so too.
Yeah, I think the judges, you know what the judges are doing. They're a pack of rabid dogs waiting to pounce on any mistake that's going to give them an excuse.
Totally. However, Hunter still with a beautiful run coming down. There's another really big hit off the second jump at 3 in the switch bio double 1260, left double 10, disappearing out of frame. He went so big.
It's almost a carbon copy of Troy Teapot, isn't it? Because he had that same little mistake up top and then just relaxed, and you saw it's actually beautiful. You see the run flow without any pressure or stress.
Well, that is true, but then we saw from Hunter, he gave it through the jumps. Troy, here's where it went wrong. Nose but a 450. That's a ridiculous
and the kink spits him out, doesn't it?
Kink spits him out. Oh, I like that. I didn't catch the switch 14 rev mute. That's a very difficult trick to be thrown into such a big spin.
Okay, deep breath there. Kanzler's dropping in.
All right, approaching the hitching post. Lip slide 180, tails over, and then a nose tap on the out. Switch 270 to forwards, and a frontside 630 out. We have seen bigger tricks through these rails, but this is a nice approach. Let's see how he holds it down in the jumps. Safer though. Holding that to switch 5, clipping the knuckle, much better than clipping the knuckle halfway through some larger rotation. So holding it, keeping it safe. It's all going to be down a run 2, but that is a line that we like through the shark fins. If that was a last run of practice, that's teeing up good things for the second run. Oop, thought it was an air to fakie. Actually, it was a shifty tail tap.
Almost a rock and roll. He just kind of tilted the skis over and hooked back.
I like that. I mean, if you're not going to boost out of that quarter pipe, you got to do something creative. We saw a nose butter cork 5 out of one of the Americans, which was really fun.
Hunter Henderson, 78, even with that tiny, I mean, it is a tiny little mistake, but exactly what you spotted, that rev mute, like those really eclectic grabs, mixing it up.
A 78, I mean, that speaks volumes, man. This is a difficult course. There's so much going on down here. If you've got a bobble up top, do not stop. Keep putting that run down. You got to get in the top 12 in your heat, top 24 overall. Just get through to tomorrow's semi-final.
Okay, next up, Ulrich Samnoy.
Another massive name on this start list. Man, it's just back-to-back bangers.
Okay, so he's looking for an 88 if he wants to find Regetley.
Now, I know he didn't spin over that hitching post, but did you see it's a forwards going forwards. Nolly noses under the hitching post and continues to forwards. That was, like, really cool.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I watched him trying it yesterday, and he lost his balance a little bit a couple of times because he'd popped himself so far over the front of the skis with the nollie.
I bet. And that hitching post is very much in the way. But unfortunately coming unstuck on the switch 14 on the first jump for Ulrich. There was a little bit of a miss on the double kink when he did the front swap backside 450. So that's obviously playing on his mind as he entered the cannon switch on front 630, and then it came unstuck. But what a great perspective of the course. This is where it came unstuck ever so slightly. He's heavy over that shoulder, looks a little bit longer, and it probably just affects the speed judgment.
Well, we've seen that a couple of times now.
And it was a switch 10, I said 14, sorry, I hate getting these things wrong. But he clipped the knuckle, you know, like we expect big things from Ulrich, man. I don't expect him to hit the knuckle.
Well, I wonder if, like, you think back to, say, Luca Harrington's run where he was 5th line on everything. We've seen 2 skiers in a row now. I just wonder if there's been some kind of change in the snow. Ooh, we've seen a couple of people now. Do you think there's a sense that, like, people have seen what's gone down, and now we're seeing slightly lower ranks starting to really push hard? Like they're potentially ability versus consistency is getting challenged.
I mean, that is like the biggest thing, you know. Your consistency is what you need. You know, some of the best skiers in this field will be the young up-and-comers who don't have the competition experience yet and don't have the put it down every single time 10 out of 10 consistency. So that's the balance.
Yeah, brilliant skiers, but they haven't yet got that. Like we said it at the start, it's a little bit milky, the snow's a bit variable, you've got fresh rails, like there's a lot of variables in here, and you've only got 2 runs, the pressure is on, but you've got to deliver.
Totally. You've got to put it down if you're going to get through to that semi-finals, and you've got to keep on going, like we saw from Hunter Hemst.
Oh, everyone, it's like it's catching, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a fever right now, and everyone's having a little slip up on the rails. I don't know why. Why could it possibly be? There's a lot to think about down this slopestyle park right now. Everything's different. There's no autopilot. You cannot chill. And whoa, what a beautiful angle of the shark fin. I like that. Cameras, that was the angle to visualize this shark fin. A lovely alley-oop. Rodeo 540 critical there, and a 270 onto the elbow. That's always going to be difficult, but that might have been just a little add-on for a throwaway run.
Okay.
From Javier.
Javier Liso with an 18.5. Back in Heat 1 now with Sean Jensen up at the top.
Look at that brake sticking out. That's a bit of personality.
Yeah, I love it. Maybe he's going to keep it out the way of a slide.
Oh, trick.
Yeah. Give it the angle.
Oh, wow. Well, a nice rail run up top, and then on the cannon doing an inside sort of 450 flip out of the rail there. It's almost like a 90 only with a Lincoln loop. I like that a lot. A left side double 1080 out of the Twisted Sister, going with the flow of the direction of the jump, and a nice carve into a right side double 10 off the shark fin. I really liked how he held his line, no speed checks, carving strong. With low, flat 360, nice landing, nice line into a switch lip blind 270 out of the waterfall there. A little low on the amplitude.
Just on the quarter pipe. Everywhere else, it was really, really clean. I mean, the thing that I'm most excited about is that Sean Jensen appears to be the vaccine for that pandemic of bales that we had. But
that's really true. Look, this is the thing that really was interesting. He sort of employed that like block technique kind of look to things and did like an inside flip out of that rail. Yeah,
it was almost like watching a side flip on a trampoline, wasn't it? It was that perfect perpendicular rotation.
I like it. Kai Martin, under the influence of Noah Morrison, one and only, starting things off with a beautiful run. Switch on pretzel, backside 630 out of the cannon. Fast rail, fast feature, hard to get such a big spin. Ooh, right side double 10. Sneaking over the knuckle there, but actually managing to get super far down that landing. Back-to-back 4 double corks, 10 to 12 with a blunt. Nice carve. Now it's switching to the shark fin. Hard to hold that line. 1080 alley-oop switch on the shark fin, very difficult, and switch into the QP. Lot of travel. It's I love the vision. I love the vision. Now,
Alley-oop, switch alley-oop 50-50.
Yeah, he was coming in so cross-court on that switch 180 up to the QP, was going for the sort of 1 foot creeper on top. Well, I don't know what he was going for, actually, but he ended up with a 1 foot creeper on top.
Using his medial ligament to keep
pretty much.
On those replays, though, beautiful, elegant skis.
Yeah, he's
really,
a very
really
elegant skier. I like that, dead right.
Yeah, there was a lovely touch to his skis, wasn't there? Okay, next up in Heat 2.
Always exciting, always something.
Mattis Vansa, the least predictable skier in the world.
A lovely cork. 360 hand drag off the side of the hitching post. 270 on, pretzel 270 off. Yes, coming off a tiny bit early, but we've seen from others that you can recover from that. 450 up, 450 down off the top of that rainbow rail. What the heck? Now, I'm pretty sure they call that a cork 0, but we'll get back to that, whatever that means. And Wowee, what a beautiful version on a switch 12 out of the Twisted Sister. And Mate Svansa taking that similar line to what A-Hall did, 360 up, hand drag upside down, cork 720, a big shifty into whatever you want to call that, back to switch on the QP, switch 2, pretzel 270, disaster on the down. Exactly what we want and expect to see out of that man Mate right there.
That was pure rush hour of tricks, wasn't it?
Isn't he amazing?
Log jam.
Isn't he amazing?
Bumper to bumper all the way through. Matty Svansa, take a bow.
Now,
What is this?
switch. It's that switch triple wobble rotation with the direction of travel from the Twisted Sister jump. It's amazing that he manages to put down a triple rotation on a jump like that.
I wanted to see the zero.
Yeah, I did too. I wanted to catch that again.
My goodness. That's
It's amazing.
ridiculous.
He's so cool.
Okay, back in Heat 2. We're on course with Satu Manatsu.
We have been having some serious difficulty, and that is with that first rail and the way that it's linked up directly after no time in the world between that hitching post and the first set of down bars. And we see another one of these skiers with a big course ahead of them come unstuck on the very first
Well,
feature.
you can tell how tight the distance is between them because the TV director's struggling to get between the top angle and the rail without cutting out the top of the rail. It's less, probably 2 skis length, isn't it?
Yeah, really, it is so fast, and it's still a transition going down from the hitching post. That's going to be a throwaway run in the end there, isn't it?
We knew it from the top, but still, it looked like he actually melted off the end of that rail rather than tried to ski off it. Look at that, you can just see that lower cloud hanging around on the other side of the valley there. Still got full vision top to bottom of the course here. So, going in now with Nils Reiner in Heat 1.
And that's the
Score to
moment.
beat Birkrud, 88.25 at the moment.
Switch 2, pretzel 270 out of the down bar. Switch other way 270, blind 270 out of the top of the rainbow. It's nice to see a lot of people using the rainbow rail. If you use it correctly, you can actually boost heaps of speed out of that into the first jump, which we just saw there. That was the double 1080 rotation, holding it to 9. Lovely way to do it, going huge on both jumps. Switch double 9 to the left, and then alley-oop left side, double bio 1080 out of the shark fin, going huge on all 3 jumps. Can't knock him for amplitude. Alley-oop flare, nose is down, 270 on to the waterfall rail out forwards.
I watched your brain actually working then as you were trying to work out what happened off the shark fin. Little nod of the head there as well. Take a bow, Nils. That was solid.
Yeah, it was a nice run. It was really difficult. It was so smooth. This is where we did the hold back. It was born to be a double 1080. Yeah, wow, so
Was
smooth.
that a genetically modified trick then?
Totally, absolutely, GMO.
We are not GMO free here at the LAAX Open. Bring out your genetically modified tricks. So Axel Bermanson, younger brother of Jenny Lee, started making his presence felt on the big air circuit.
Jenny Lee, what an inspiration as well for him. She's such a smooth, awesome skier, has been for a very long time. Switch to up to the rainbow. Backside 270 off, left side double 12, cap in the blunt. If it's not blunt, it's blunt means blunt. It's right on the end. That's a beautiful way to do it. Oh, what an awesome approach to a switch. Left side at double 12, alley-oop off to Twisted Sister. Switch 5 first, dipping into the cork 7. Really like that way of doing it. Double 10, double Japan, to the right, down the way, out of the pipe. A long travel in the cork 540 flare, rotation in the QP. 450 on, shifty out forward.
Very tidy.
Very tidy. Like it a lot. Yeah, this was very smooth. Switch slip slide and then a blind. Oh, didn't catch that on the first take. Switch 270 up to the rainbow was noses in. So a sort of cheeky lip slide up there. I really love that. That's just a little accent, a little personality stuffed on there. I love it.
Do you think we're going to see Axel moving up?
it was really smooth, and I really liked his down flat down. His back swap was just liquid.
Let's keep an eye on that score then as we cross back over. If you're just joining us, it's double up heats, 4 judges watching each of the qualifying heats. 30 men being cut down to 60 men being cut down to, 60 men being cut down to 24. So 2 30-man heats, and it's the top 12 from each heat. And at the moment, things looking pretty balanced. You've got Berkrud on an 88.25 leading heat 1. You've got Andrew Rigettli on an 88 leading heat 2. And Evan McEachran bridging that gap in heat 1 just behind Ruud. But a bit of a gap there. There's some daylight between Rigettli and Ahall that could be filled by some of the second runs.
And at the moment, we're seeing plenty of mistakes of varying degrees. However, if there's an that was the switch bone roll. Yes, Justin Dory. If there's something I can take note of what we've seen so far, it's if you make a mistake, do not stop. Do not stop. Do not stop. Keep on going. Put a score on the board. We're seeing a 57 is in a qualifying spot right now.
Yeah. Well, right down into 12th. Right now, it's Sato Manatsu on a 16 is going through from, I think it's heat 2. In heat 1, I mean, we've still got, we're only just coming up to the halfway point here, so still a lot of run, and we've got second runs still to come. But Axel Bermansen, 66.75. He's only 2.5 points ahead of Luca Harrington. Let's see how this unfolds. Still so much action to come. It is men's freeski slopestyle qualifiers here at the LAAX Open 2025. 10 years of the LAAX Open, and it's Noah Porter-McLennan. Sorry, we're in the other heat. Got to cross back over again. Sorry, looking at the wrong one. Okay, Vincent Vale.
And a lovely run through the rails. It's a switch double 9, really floaty, going massive on the first jump. Oh, I love it. Bio, double, 1080. Alley-oop again out of the Twisted Sister, going really big. You cannot knock this fella's amplitude right now. It was only a left 720 out of the shark fin, but again, going big. Keep that amplitude up into the QP. No, unfortunately. Coming out a little bit, but has a good line into the waterfall. 270 on, front 270 off. Now, no major league mistakes, but he held the amplitude really big through the jumps, but it was only a 7 out of the shark fin.
And that's it. Like, what do you want? We talked about how much consistency you need, but you've got to balance that with the difficulty and the technicality.
It's all got to come together.
You said it, we're looking for perfection.
But it's going to be interesting to see what the judges actually do score-wise with a run like that, with no mistakes, but a couple of glaring holdbacks.
Well, let's see. We'll keep an eye on that score for Vincent. And now it's the turn of Noah Porter-McLennan.
Noah PM. Noah off the afternoon.
No.
Oh, I like it. A 360 over with a shifty, clipping a little bit of tail on that hitching post. Really, really like it. Continuing to out of the down bar. Switch on. Front side 630. Getting tucked up into a Japan grab. Nice and composed. Switch. Right side. Double 14 on the first jump. That's one of the that's the highest spin in trick we've seen on that first jump. Switch left side double 12. That seems to be the line in the first 2 jumps, the most popular line thus far. So you got to mix it up as we come down here. Left side double 10. Decent amplitude out of the shark fin.
You're getting second line.
And a big flare in the QP, traveling a lot of distance. So he's on 270 through the elbow, holding it to switch. Now that is just too much nerves for me, man. I'm flapping. That's just too difficult, but well done, Noah Porter-McLennan.
I like that, claiming it as well. Now back up at the top in Heat 2, and this is Chris McCormick. It is not Salas as previously advertised. So Francisco Salas out of Chile, looks like a DNS.
Chris, Iceman, cool as a cucumber, as always. You know, I saw something really cool in practice. See his really vivid mirror lenses.
Yeah.
I could see the blue, like in the takeoff of the jump every time he took off. It was really cool. Come on, Chris. Getting a lot of travel on a back swap over the hitching post there, cutting out to forwards. Lip slide at 270. See how he just locks onto rails? That's Chris's MO. He's absolute weapon through the rails. Switch on, shifty, 630 out, front side to switch off the cannon. Switch right side, double 14. Plenty of amplitude.
Beautiful crisp landing as well.
Crisp. Switch left, double 12. That's his Instagram. And then cutting into the shark fin. A really nice, no double, just a 7, but a beautiful capped blunt through that. Gonna have to go big in this QP. A really nice right side 9, making use of every bit of knowledge he has of that Bear's Den QP since he's a little grommy. Front swap, front 270 out of the waterfall. That was a beautiful run from Chris.
Yeah, if you can ride Dendex and Snowflex quarter pipes, you can definitely ride a snow one.
Yeah, and that thing is beautiful. It might be big, it might be intimidating, but if you know how to ride that transition, you are laughing in this slopestyle.
So we talked about Vincent Vell, the German. He's in 11th place on a 54.75 for a perfect but dialed back run in terms of technicality. So the judges are really, really promoting that creativity in the technical stretch.
That's so good to see. And you speak about individuality. We see Bollinger right there holding the nose as he slides backslide down that down bar. Big spin over the rainbow rail, left side. Ooh, talk to me. Left side at double 1260 with a whole heap of grabs, finishing on the leading mute. Massive. Oh,
over rotates his adductor turned into a bungee strap then.
It did. That was a strong, powerful man right there to hold that and pick himself up after that. He does a switch left side, double bio 1260, and went absolutely whopping.
It was full kung fu kick, wasn't it? The separation between the skis.
Managed to hold it, put it down to forwards, but then as that impact and the slight over rotation, it just, you know, sprung him into the flat bottom, unfortunately.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Still waiting to score for Chris McCormick. Bollinger slides out there. So, yeah, still waiting on score for Chris McCormick over on this side. Nicola Bollinger on a 21.75.
An unfortunate way to go down, no doubt about it, on that switch double 12, when it was such a beautiful run. Creative, getting a little bit of flair. I loved the excess of grabs on the first switch 14. Double 12, I mean. Forwards double 12. Kovalenko dropping in right to left, 360 over the hitching post, no touch, left side 270, front 270 out, coming a little bit early off that first rail. Switch on, front side 450 off. It's a little bit lumpy, but he's smooth through the rails. We've seen many people come unstuck, and it was too much for him, unfortunately. Just a straight air through the first jumps. The value of getting the speed right is obviously huge for your second run, but a straight air on that first jump is going to knock the score down to something that really isn't doable. But back-to-back forward double quads, out of the twisted takeoffs and the QP.
Couple of spots of rain on that cable cam, and I just wonder if there's moisture, if that's slowing things down. If we're seeing that a little bit warmer, a little bit softer.
It's really interesting. It kind of comes down, I spoke about it with Tim yesterday, it's kind of like Formula One, and what tyres you choose is the wax that you put on your skis. And if it's warming up through the day, you better hope that whoever was waxing your skis, whoever your tech is, knew that and was ready for the progression of the weather in the day.
Chris McCormick, 76.25, sliding into 4th place there. Very, very strong score there.
Only with a 720 out of the QP as well. He's got way more to give.
Okay. Quick little flutter around the hitching post.
Oh, Henry Silderu, what a weapon on the rails. Double swap, out switch on the down, flat down, switch to back to on the rainbow. Or was it a 450?
It is slow.
It is so you can feel it. Nose, butter, double 12, blunt. Beautiful from Henry. He's grown so tall in recent years, but he's using every inch of that to stomp landings like that switch. Double 10 on the second jump. You're kidding. You're kidding. A switch double down the pipe. 9 out of the quarter pipes there. And Henry, excellent in the QP. Going
Right
huge.
12.
Right 12, you're exactly right. Left 450, back 270 out. Henry Silderu has arrived.
Do you know what he did there? That was a beautifully constructed slope run because he built and he built and he built.
You're so right. You're so right. It got better and better and
The
better. didn't it?
combos kept coming, and then the knockout blow just smashes the judges. They're like, that's in the 90s, I think, for me.
Let's go. Oh, we don't get the replays yet, but no, absolutely no doubt that was one of the most technical runs we've seen thus far. To do a 1260 single cork 1260 in that QP and go so high, that's someone that knows how to ride transition.
Definitely.
Henry's not phased to see these crazy takeoffs on this course. Switch double down to 592, and he went massive, man. How are people knuckling when Henry went that big and he did that nose butter 12? He was locked on that blunt too. Wowee. I was told that Henry was ripping the practice sessions.
Still waiting on a score for Henry. We'll bring that to you as soon as it comes in. Right now, though, Aidan Mulvihill.
Ooh, nice fast slide going cross court on the hitching post. 270 up, pretzel 270 off. Beautiful. That shows complete and utter knowledge of the rails. Front side 630, leaning into a tail grab as well. Very nice rail run. Switch right side, a big spin, 1260. Nice cork 3, 9 to 3. Like that rotation, it was very exciting. Oh yes, right side double 1440, wrapping it up for days off the twisted sister. Left side double 900. Man, this fella's approaching every single one of these rotations in a new, unique fashion. It's hard to call it early. Switch, alley 540 in the QP, using all the room that he's been given before that rail. Beautiful switch too. Now that was a lovely run. Now there was a little bit of an arm here and a leg there, but every single one of those features was approached in a slightly different way, and the judges will absolutely love that. I did.
The one thing, and I know I'm programmed to do this, to try and find that hole in the run, but it wasn't a tail butter into the quarter. He washed that takeoff.
Do you think he was going for the tail butter, or did he take off a bit early? And that's the question. Now, I didn't see tail butter there.
No, I didn't either. I saw a wash that killed a bit of the amplitude. So
it definitely killed amplitude.
Let's see where that goes score-wise. I'm going to go and try and find out where Henry Sildaru is at as well.
Now, because there was because the hitching post is set up perpendicular to the flow, it's kind of a front side 360 that he did off that hitching post, and I really liked the way that it looked. So switch right side double 900 off the classic jump, and off the first twisted takeoff. Critical, not quite holding on to the critical grab on the double 10, but it's still a double cork. Right side double 10 out of the quarter pipe takeoffs, and the traditional QP alley-oop 540 lead safety onto the waterfall front. A
little bobble there, yeah, wasn't there? Luka Kuharek.
Just forwards to forwards.
So Henry Sildaru 78.25.
Really?
Yep.
We must have missed something.
Might
But
be
that is a
little
high
bit.
score. It's certainly in the qualification zone right now.
What's interesting, he's got one of the most diverse collections of scores from the judges. Judge 2 gave him a 76, the Norwegian judge. The French and Canadian judges gave him an 80.
Yeah, that's
4-point
really interesting.
discrepancy.
I know it's a different heat, but we can compare that to the score of Hunter Henderson, who made an obvious mistake. So some of the judges seeing something that we did on Henry Silderu's run. But that's what makes this whole thing pretty exciting.
Yeah, you watch almost anyone else's scores and there's not more than 2 points between them. So that one definitely putting the cat amongst the judges, judging pigeons.
love that you got all these sayings. It's brilliant. Right side double, 1080 double, Japan, and a high line of the sisters, but it's just a too slow rotation on the double 12.
You could see he was going to be sneaking that in, couldn't you, right from the start? Okay. Let's see where we're going here. Adrian Vodo, one of those Swiss locals under pressure on this course. We saw Anna Gasser, the Austrian snowboarder. She's done back-to-back big airs in front of home crowds. And she talked a lot about that, the expectation people have of you to make finals.
Oh my goodness, and what pressure that it is. It's absolutely everything. You want to be in there. We got semi-finals, so today there is way more people actually qualifying into the next round, but it is all about making it to the big weekend here at the LAAX Open.
Right, James Pouch on course.
Yes, Pouch, switch 270, backside 450 out of the rainbow rail, cutting in switch. It was a switch 720, upside down on the first jump. Now, did something go wrong? It is a chiller run for James right now. Switch bio 900 mute grab. As we've seen, keep continuing your run and see what points you can actually post. Right side down a pipe 720 out of the quarter pipe takeoffs. Ali Rody 5, yeah, you can see there's something that's amiss. There's something that's amiss in this run. It is a throwaway for James Pouch, but something was up earlier.
I wonder if we're seeing a little bit of like this spitting rain. We've got sun out there on the course, but that little bit of cloud just leaving a bit of moisture. And I wonder, like, it's that really annoying one when you're doing 30 k's an hour. That drizzle builds up really quickly on the goggle lens.
It totally does, and whatever it is, the change of conditions is going to hurt. It's not going to feel good. It's going to be a hindrance. Even when the sun pops out from behind a cloud, it's an awesome thing, but it affects the speed and the visual.
Julius Fora on course, and he's down.
Another skier coming unstuck on the first rails. It was a beautiful 270 on with like a nollie pop into it, and he just come down really heavily on that rail and caught his front edge.
There's a danger that his moustache hooked under the rail.
A heavy danger, because that thing's whopping.
It's huge, isn't it?
It's so cool.
Absolute beast of a stash for Julius. Yeah, if they were handing out large chunks of granite for moustaches at the LAAX Open, he'd have a gold one. Unfortunately, you only get them for skiing, so it's down to second run for Julius Fora. So back in heat one now. And we've got Vebjorn Graberg on course.
Switch 270 through the kink to forwards on that first rail set. Throwing himself into a misty 630 out of the cannon. We'd like to see that, bringing it all the way back around to forwards. Plenty of speed on a double 1440 blunt on the first jump.
Third line.
Right side, double 12. It's a smooth run through the jumps thus far. Switch into the quarter pipes, the hardest thing you can do. Alley-oop. Whoa, he held on to that, goodness gracious. Alley-oop, double 1080, landing basically one ski, and wow, that was a cool switch 720. Alley-oop in the QP.
And squeeze, just the tips melted off that rail. I am still more impressed by that switch landing. That was like watching a guy reversing a semi-truck at 40 miles an hour, wasn't it? And somehow keeping both of the trailers upright. Unbelievable control. Great save.
And let's be honest, all right, it might not have been great for that run and your points or whatever, but should something have gone wrong, just there, if he hadn't held that, he'd have zoomed off the side of that and smacked into the fence. So great hold.
Kim Gubser getting ready. The Swiss.
Kim, absolutely famous for going massive, so we do not expect him to have too much trouble with the speed, but let's see if he can live up to his reputation. Lip slide to a front swap, back 450, out of the double kink. A difficult rail to be doing.
Very fresh, though.
Very, very fresh. Switch 270, backside 450, off the first line. Whoa, 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 whoa! Now that was a switch at double 900 rotation, holds it back to 7, does a really interesting double nose grab, sort of rocket and true nose. Switch double 9, again with a grab that we don't see that often on the second jump. A left side double 10 out of the QP, tweaks the mute grab, pokes his legs out forward, heaps of amplitude on the QP, on a right side cork 5, and a lip 270 to switch. That's the Kim Gubza that we know and we love.
That was beautiful. Virsnib fort lap. He had a little rewind in there, didn't he?
On the first jump, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it was so cool. It was almost a switch double front flip, but it wasn't. He held it. It was a switch double cork 7, and I really, really want to go and look at a replay of that first jump from Kim Gubza. But that looks like an awesome way to, solidify your place in the semi-finals.
Okay, getting ready now. We got Colin Willie of Switzerland dropping in. Swiss have got such a strong free skiing team, haven't they? In the men's.
They totally do. And their young guns are now, veterans. It's awesome to see. Look at that switch, lip 270, pretzel 270 out, methodically making his way through the rails. Switch to the other way, front, bio 450 off the cannon. Switch right side double 12 with what a beautiful tweaked mute grab.
This feels like business as usual, doesn't it? He's so confident in what he's throwing down.
Last line, absolutely massive right side double 1440, left double 10 out of quarter pipes. Exactly, Ed. Business as usual. Go massive, stick it down on home turf, get through to the semis. Big flare, rev mute, disaster 270, frontside 270 out of the waterfall. Didn't look like much.
And he teapotted to finish, both hands on hips. Love that. I think, for me, that's proof that the Swiss built this course 2 months ago, trained on it for 2 months and then demolished it and rebuilt it. That it looked like he'd been riding this course his whole life.
It did.
That was and so casual.
After seeing so many of the world's best struggle, to see two of those fellas just then, Kim Gubza, Colin Woody, just go down there and lace it with no problem. I love that.
Yeah,
that is just professionalism.
Everyone's had a schooling, haven't they? Cody LaPlante getting ready to drop.
Another schooling on deck right now. Cody LaPlante. I love this. Switch blender, nose tap, whips himself into the other way front 180 back out to forwards. Awesome through the DFD. Switch 270, backside 450, staying upright, lots of spinning.
Taking no risks. Powering up on the back of the skis.
Oh, that was a beautiful double cork 900. That's the 10, held back to 9. Awesome stuff. If anyone's an expert at this bring back, it's this fella right here, Cody LaPlante. Lovely double, switch double 12. And then oh no, Cody! Don't roll over that ski. Thank you to the gods. He was sliding down that, lost a ski out of in front of him. The worst thing that could have happened just then is that he rolled over those ski, because those things are sharp, they hurt, the bindings, the brakes. Yeah, although he fell,
a little muscle rolling from a binding is not a pleasant experience.
Not pleasant. It's disappointing for Cody just there. Came unstuck on what was going to be an excellent hit all the way out to switch of the QPs. It was a beautiful run, and we just got to hope that Cody can hold that down for the second run.
Is going over a rolling ski the skiing equivalent of running on Lego?
Absolutely. Yeah, stepping barefoot on Lego. Yeah, you don't know how bad it's going to hurt, but you know it's going to be bad.
Okay, back in Heat 1 now. We have the one and only Lucas Ball on course out in New Zealand.
One awesome nollie 180 over the hitching post, switch tail butter 450.
I was going to say it was tail butter, wasn't it, in?
It was beautiful. It's a lovely way to start things off in the run. Lot of attitude. You can choose to use this hitching post. You can choose to use it mellow, or you can put your swing on it.
He had a little bit of super glue on the tip of that right ski then. Somehow he managed to keep it stuck to the snow and it saved him.
It's so interesting to see some people going small, clipping the knuckle, but then obviously speed is not a problem. Going huge switch double, 1260 on the first jump, not holding it together, having to come around, but a massive double 1080 out of the quarter pipes there. It just shows who excels at what right now, because we've got every manner of what on this course today.
So Lucas Ball, he knows what he did there. It
just went huge.
We don't have enough data to really pull apart the scores at the moment in qualifying, especially when we're on split panel judging like this. You'll notice that you've got Heat 1 and Heat 2 running concurrently. So Monteleone out on course, the Italian. Another one alongside Miro of those promising young Italians coming through.
Yeah, Rene got to really hope, he's going to want to be there in Milan, home crowd. He's got the talent, he's just got to get those points up on the board. Right side at double 1260, one little hand, but we know that mistakes aren't gonna kill you right now in this qualifications. And look, wow, something's happened. The speed is back. Massive switch 1080 on the second jump, but it was a switch alley-oop, double 9 on the QP, and I mean, that is exactly what that quarter pipe's going to do to you if you're not ready for such a wildly vertical takeoff.
Is the speed back, or is the Italian wax tech just got it right?
And the New Zealand, apparently.
Yeah.
And Cody went massive now. Speed's back. Or everyone's chatting.
What do you mean by that? Like they're all talking about just gun it?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Cody, his internal speedometer was telling him to tuck into the first jump.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like, I want to be going faster than I am. I mean, that might have been something coming out of the cannon.
Yeah, a little bit. He had a big spin, possibly landed hard on those edges, but certainly the speed is back. We had a little run of, ooh, there's a little throwback to what Cody was doing on the hitching post. 270 on, all the way through the kinks, front side 270 off, switching shoulders into switch on 450 out, cutting him forwards to the first jump.
Noah Viond out of France.
Double 1080 to the right, plenty speed. I'm glad to see everybody getting plenty of speed over these knuckles. Whopping double 12. Ooh, holding that landing. Boom!
Megatron stomp.
Oh, and that was a lovely line through the quarter pipe takeoffs. Switch alley-oop 900, double wobble, and coming out forwards, flat spin 360, switch on, switch 270 on to the disaster down, landing switch. I think that was a pretty good run.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Really solid.
Went massive. So glad that he managed to hold that 1260, because we've seen a couple of people go so big they're not able to hold it.
Do you think he went huge and he did hold on to those landings, but they weren't that steady?
If
And
you ask me, if you make it look hard, it's awesome. You know, boom!
great way of going about it. Thibaut Magnin out of Spain.
And what does that sticker mean in Spanish?
I don't know, but look at those blonde locks, the curls spilling out from under the goggle strap. He'll be breaking hearts down in the Indy Bar tonight.
No doubt. Devo.
Okay, so Thibaut just taking his time here. Potentially a little reshape going on.
Yeah, something's holding him up in the start gate. It's not easy. When it's been rapid fire back to back to back to back to back, you're expecting to go straight away. So to have a little hold is something extra to deal with. It does happen. That's the nature of competition. But T getting some good time to think. It does look like a confident face, though, doesn't it? Goggles help.
Lucas Ball, 67.75 into ninth. Our bubble score at the moment still a 57.5. That's in heat 1. In heat 2, we've got a much better picture now. We've only got a couple more in each heat to run on these first runs of men's freeski qualification. And looking down here, it's a 60.5 with Oliver Magnusson, the Swede, in heat 2. So at the moment, Chris McCormick looking pretty safe. You got Kim Gubsup moved right up there. First man to fill in that gap between Andrew Rigettli on an 88 and A-Hall on an 80. So a lot of space at the top of the standings there. And I think you made a really good point. We saw A-Hall come out with that 80-point run, first run in the second heat. And you said that's a big score there. And the judges have really kept their powder dry in that second heat. You've got to have an exceptional run to get above A-Hall. And the great part of that is it means there is a good amount of weight being put on that lovely knuckle huck combo that he put across the shark fin.
Absolutely. There's heaps of space in these points. I love it. There's plenty of space left to go. And we know, look at those names on the tops of these heats. Burke Ruud, Andrew Rigettli, Kim Gubsup, Evan McEachran, Tormod, Alex Hall. Even for them, they did their qualification runs. They did their qualification level runs to get them to the semi-finals. And then there's to the finals. There's heaps more to come from the judges and the skiers right now.
Thibaut dropping in.
Oh, a nice little front 180 out of that with a travel. Oh, I love a quick switch 450 onto a down bar. That was lovely. Oh, what in the heck was that? An inside, front side cork 630 out. Lovely switch double 10 on the first jump for Thibaut. Love that rail run. This is hot right now. That's his classic switch double 1260 with a mute grab, 5 to 7 rotation, nice and upside down. Thibaut going huge out of quarter pipes, double 1080. Again, a lovely mute spinning in the opposite direction. An alley-oop flare in the quarter pipe. All it's left to do is for T to stick that bottom rail, 270 on to the waterfall, comes out to forward. He's stoked. I'm stoked. He went massive. He made it look good. That was a lovely run.
Thibaut Magnin very obviously happy with that one. Look at him.
Yeah, that smile versus the serious face that we had at the top for a little while there, that's good to see, and it couldn't be happening to a better fella.
Pressure off for Thibaut Magnin. He's got a good solid run on the board. Now we're coming into the last of these qualifiers. Dropping in, it's Bib 43 in Heat 1. One and only Noah Viond.
Viond, backside 3 swap. Very, very aggressive double kink on that first rail section. So to get a back 3 swap, very impressive. The sort of 90 to front flip out of the cannon. Switch double 14 to, oh no, excuse me, forwards double 12 to the right on the first jump. Switch left double 12 on the Twisted Sister, and just going too big, putting too much pressure on the tails and washing out, unfortunately. It'll be back to the top, back into the knowledgeable arms of Coach French Greg. Great to see him up here doing it. He's absolute staple in the freeski scene ever since the freeski takeover of the half pipe, the French takeover of the half pipe, all the way back to Xavier Beton.
Okay, getting a full view of this course.
I love that cable car angle.
It's incredible.
Looking down, like
Well,
really.
The speed the cable cam gets up to as well, it is phenomenal. Okay, so that appears we've still got Cristobal Colombo, Fadri Reiner in Heat 2, sorry. In Heat 1, we've still got, let's go down here. There's so many people in qualies. Fantin Siompi and Timu Laurinen out of Finland.
Yeah, this is no easy. Oh no! Oh, was that a rib? Was that a rib? It was a rib.
Oh,
that's gonna really, really, really hurt. That's the. He's gonna be all right, but that's gonna sting for a little while. That was a switch 270, kiss of death, like we saw from Ben Barclay, and here we see it just pitch him up and over and a drop.
That is gonna sting.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. When you make a mistake like that, you've just got to hope that you've got even enough speed. It doesn't pitch you into the rail, which that did. Those rails might look soft from here, but they're not.
Yeah, that's like being hit in the rib cage with an iron bar.
Quite literally. Switch 270, pretzel 270 out of that same rail.
I thought we were watching a replay then. They're quite merciless, aren't they?
Absolutely
Cleared the course.
Merciless,
Get the next skier in.
It was like, are you all right? We're straight on. Switch double, bio 1260 on the first jump. I love this line, seeing those twisted takeoffs. That's why we're calling them the Twisted Sisters. They're completely off camber.
Beautiful view from the drone.
Oh no!
But
Oh
out
no!
into the flats.
Oh, indeed, and thankfully he comes up and loses that little bit of speed in that ungroomed section. There's no big cookies. That's why it's so important.
And I've only just noticed, no goggles. Potentially made the decision with that frozen rain that's been dropping across the course to not go with the goggles. Because
would you want to drop with precipitation coming down with nothing protecting your eyes? I wouldn't. But some people love it. That is a thing. Each to their own. Everybody does it. But that, honestly, that is just fortunate that nothing came amiss for the young Norwegian.
Yeah, I think if you're Norwegian, you can kind of open your eyes in freezing rain and it doesn't affect you.
It's a really good point of thinking this.
It's it's basically in your DNA to be able to see in the middle of a blizzard.
Ah, yes, snow all the way up underneath the t-shirt. That's unfortunate. But a nice wake-up call. Hopefully pays him good for run 2.
Okay, last skier in Heat 2, it's Fadri Reiner.
So it's 270, pretzel 270 on that first rail, and oh no, a little bump off the cannon. It is a quarter cannon because that rail's shooting you upwards, and if you don't hit it smooth off the takeoff, it's going to bump you. But what is beautiful, when we do see some falls up top, we get to see some beautiful cork threes as the speed is checked down this course. I like it, using it not just for fun, but a practice for run 2. That's a right side double 1260 on the quarter pipe takeoffs, and a really pretty high amplitude out of that quarter pipe down a pipe alley-oop. Excuse me, alley-oop rodeo 540.
Okay, so Fadri Reiner, all pressure on his second and final qualification run. We've got 2 skiers left now in Heat 1. There are a couple of DNSs in Heat 2, hence Heat 1 has a couple more still. We've got Fantin Siompi out of Switzerland, and we've got Timo Laurinen out of Finland. Okay, so Fantin dropping in. Lovely little switch 180 tap. Nose butter into that rail. Beautiful control on there. Now up onto the rainbow. 270 up, little backslide. Coming into the first kick up. Where we headed. Lovely right double 12. Little speed check there. Is he going to regret that? Switch left 12. Then carving hard through here, taking off early out of those fins. The dub going to come switch into the quarter, checking a lot of speed here. Want a little more on the tail butter up into that 7. 270 on that gap out to down bar at the end. Solid run there for Fantin Siompi. You notice it across the board with all of these skiers out of Switzerland. They've put the time in LAAX. There's that 270 backslide up. And that dub 12. And the switch 12. Beautiful angle of the Twisted Sister. So much pop out of that. Okay, Timo Laurinen, last skier in men's qualification. Out of, let's have a look, I actually haven't counted the numbers, including the DNSs. 29 went in Heat 1, and then in Heat 2, we had 3 DNSs out of another 30. So 59 skiers have gone through here, and the judges have got to pick the top 24 for semi-finals. Semi-finals will be going down on Friday, just ahead of Freeski slope finals. So busy day for the men on Friday.
Absolutely busy. All it is go right now. But again, by the time we get to finals, these guys are going to know this course like the back of their hand, and I can't wait for the action we're going to see at that time.
Okay, Timo Laurinen, just waiting for this run.
Alrighty, yeah, when you do get a little bit of time before you drop in, you got that time to think. You got that little extra second to put it in the brain box and really focus. Can be a good thing, can get you overstimulated. So, dropping in to the hitching post. Oh, I love it. Flare with the tail tap over the hitching post. Switch 270, blind side at 270 out. Getting those switch tails over the rail there seems to have had a lot of people come unstuck so far in this competition. Backside 630 out of the cannon. Switch right double 12. Again, another variation on how you get those double court rotations in a switch 12. Absolutely love it. Left double 12 blunt going huge. This is exactly what we need to see. The amplitude is way up. Switch diving forwards, bio 900 out of the QP. A massive flare on the bottom QP. 270 on. Pops it out to forward. Now that was a run with volition. I absolutely love it. Laurinen of Finland. What an awesome way to start off this qualifications. It is there. The speed is there if you can harness it. We have had ever so slight changes in the weather conditions. Some people struggling for speed, and then some people going absolutely whopping. Some even going too big today on this course and getting wobbled out. But what a beautiful run from the Finnish Freeski weapon. It seems to be the year of the bright orange jacket too. I've seen Ulrich Samnoy sporting it, Luca Harrington sporting it. It's I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah, it seems to be the colour, doesn't it? For a little while, I think last year was kind of like a dark green one. And then this year is definitely orange. Definitely the flavour.
I love that puffy jackets are back too. That stokes me out. I like that. I can get away with baggy pants and a puffy jacket. That's exactly where I started this whole Freeski thing.
Well, I remember my first ever season. The puffer jacket was the preserve of the Parisian in Val d'Isère. You wore jeans, tight jeans, and a white puffer, and that was the Parisian outfit.
I love it.
Okay, on course. Is this Luca? Let's have a little look. Yeah, Lucas Mullauer. I'll pretend that I was talking about Lucas Mullauer and not Luca Harrington.
Yeah.
So Lucas Mullauer desperate to get a run down here, and there is real intent and ambition in that takeoff.
Absolutely. Switch to number 14. Switch diving double 1260. Going huge. It's always a very hard thing to drop first, and Luca feeling that pressure on the first run. Massive double 12 as he hides behind the ranking scores. He stomped that obviously with plenty speed. Right side 720 blunt. Lucas Mullauer holding it down through the bottom rail section. Switch 2 blind 2.
And he celebrates that one. You could feel the pressure releasing in that celebration. He knew he was under the pump, and there was a finals place semi-finals place at stake.
Absolutely, so much pressure when you bin it on your first run. That was a nice grip, wasn't it? You
yeah,
like that?
I really like that. I mean, I know it's showing that he needed it, but at the same time, there was flair in it.
Yeah, that grip on the down rail, it's cool. It's personality. How you do it is all that counts.
A-Hall back on course. Let's enjoy this one.
Beautiful. He's got a little bit of the pressure off with an awesome first run. Nollie 360 over the hitch post. Nose butter 4 onto the oh my goodness, A-Hall 2 up black 60.
He almost jumps into the kink.
Aggressive.
Of that second rail. Oh!
Aye.
How did he get that so wrong?
You know what? I do not know really what happened with Alex Hall just then. It was a switch 1260. It could have been going 14. But he just had a low profile takeoff and came in sort of on his side. I think he'll be just fine, but that was probably a bit of a winding.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But he has a great first run, so his score probably isn't a problem. He had such an excellent rail run. He was probably coming into that first jump like, oh, everything's going good this run.
That was the thing, wasn't it? He really did look like he was riding in a Cadillac. Everything going his way. You could. We saw it before with that rib hit, didn't we? It's the ones that sneak up on you. Max Moffat as well.
Yes.
Another skier desperate for a big score on this second run, who you'd expect to see. Okay, Sebastian Chevet, the Norwegian, looking pretty comfortable in 6th. He might want to push a little bit though for semis though.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. We saw it from Lucas Mullauer. You know, he dropped in big score, upping from first run. Double swap on the down bar for Sebastian. Goodness gracious me. Big backside spin off the cannon, cutting him forwards to the first jump. Double bio, 1080, huge. We're up into the real heat of the meat of the heat with these hitters. That was an alley-oop. Double cork 900, the 1080 rotation, held to 9, switch double 9 through the quarter pipe takeoffs, beautiful shark fins. This is the QP down the bottom, cork 5, very smooth, last rail for Sebastian Schurver, lip side 270, front 270 off of the waterfall. I can't remember exactly what his first run was. There's so many people coming through, but he had a good score on his first run.
77.25.
I can only imagine that was probably a little bit better.
I think his reaction told us everything there. Just that little punch of the poles. He's like, yeah, that was cleaner.
And it's going to feel so good for him. Fancy putting 2 runs down in this qualification when so many people are struggling. That's going to give you confidence. Should he progress through this competition, it's going to give him heaps of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting, he's currently 6th in Heat 1. That 77.25 would be worth 4th in, 5th.
Interesting.
So not too much of a difference. Luca Harrington on course.
Now, someone else, he had such a fantastic first run. Switched to blind 2 off the first rail. He came just a little unstuck as he went huge. Right, beautiful cork frontside 630 off the cannon. Now, it's all up to Luca to hold it down. Switch, double 14 on the first jump. Whiff and a grab, but it's not a problem. We know you can post a very high 70 score with a couple mistakes. A massive switch. Double 1260. Luca using all of his ability in the quarter pipes. Goodness gracious, he went absolutely huge out of the shark fin on that double 10.
He engaged the
massive
snow
9.
magnet, didn't he? Just sucked himself into the landing.
To land that was incredible. Wow, Luca Harrington, and just growing into some sort of pedigree in his free skiing ability here.
What was the knock on the helmet for there? Was that
I reckon
a little bit lucky? Was he acknowledging how big he went?
Yeah. He had absolutely no business going that massive out of the shark fin, and somehow he managed to pull it together. Yeah, as you say, snow magnet.
I couldn't believe, like, it looked like he was going to over-rotate. Any mortal would have been on their backs. Somehow he sucked himself into that landing. Okay, Evan McEachran currently sat in second in Heat 1, dropping.
So heaps of confidence for Evan. Again, as we saw from Sebastian, Evan's going to want to put down both runs and make it feel really confident moving through this field. Beautiful nose bar onto the down bar. Switch to back 450 off, stalling it with the tail of the cannon. Switch double 1440 last line for Evan. Goodness, doesn't hold it, swims it round to forwards. He's safe, he's sound. He's got a beautiful first run on the board. Evan's just like, you know what, I'm good, mate. I'm gonna run on my first run score. He just went huge. Really interesting. There doesn't seem to be wind. Those flags are still, but there is such a huge differential in the speed that these skiers are coming into these jumps. Can't wait to get out there and ask what was going on.
Okay, let's do a little bit of a recap here. We've got Lucas Malauer on, he posted a 74.75, so it has improved from that 45.5, currently in 8th, you can see there. But look, Sebastian Scherf, 83.75, squeezed an extra 6 points out of that run and sitting very comfortably in 3rd place now. We talked about the low 70s being the bubble score. It's currently 65.25 in Heat 1, bubble score in Heat 2. Luca Harrington is in 11th. Fabian Bosch is in 12th on a 63. Still waiting for Luca Harrington's second score though. So
You had me there. I was like, what? He's in 11th right now after that?
That was my favourite construction of grammar for a sentence. It's German construction, because in German the verb comes at the end. So Germans are great listeners because the sentence doesn't make sense unless you listen to the very end.
No way. All right. Well,
all of the people in the room were jumping.
I got to be completely honest, verbs and nouns, it's quite confusing. I don't know what they mean.
Not much more. There he is.
Wow, they really bit him for that over rotation, which, oh no, excuse me, it was for the first jump where he whipped that grab. That's what it is. That's why Luca's not way up there.
68.75. So a very nervous wait for Luca Harrington now, 9th place. Dropping in though, back on Heat 1 by the looks of it.
Connor Ralph, 270 on front swap, 270 out at that double king. Very much the hardest option of those top 2 rails. And he's cutting in switch to the first jump, double 1260. Very nice, very upside down. Safety grab, holding it clean. Right side, double 1440, sticks it down. A lot of similarity to his first run thus far. Down the pipe. Double 12, beautiful. Now it's switch into this QP. Very difficult, looking over the wrong shoulder, and he's holding those edges. That is exactly what you do not want to happen, but exactly why those inside edges are so hard to approach this quarter pipe. Quarter pipe's massive. LAAX known for its huge half pipe. They've built a huge quarter pipe here, and it's on a weird 45-degree angle.
That redirect.
Difficult. That is really quite tragic for Conor Ralph's second run. How's he sitting from his first run scores?
Conor Ralph on a 72, currently in 7th place.
That's a nervous way.
Yeah, he's above Luca Harrington right now. Okay, back to Heat 1. We're getting ready for Tormod Frostad. T-Pod, sorry.
It's so difficult with the double up judging. You never know who's coming next. But it's T-Pod right now. Needs a big score. He missed his first run, but if someone could perform under pressure, who's a young'un coming up, it's this fella. He's young, he's new, but he's so well established, you know, gold medals all over the show. So Teapot on his way in, a beautiful switch, double Misty 1440. I call it beautiful because he just got himself up into the air there and ripped it down to forwards. Switch back to back, double Misty 14 to 1260. Double 10 out of the shark fin quarter pipes. Really, really chill. Heaps of speed into the QP. Alley-oop, rodeo, 540, 450 to switch on the gap to down. That's a massive sigh of relief for T. He's going to be really happy after losing out of his first run early and chilling all the way down. He's been waiting, watching all those skiers come down, just like, I wish I'd still done it.
I needed to be able to relax here. But he's done it the hard way. He's currently on a 54, so we'll see where the judges take him. He's looking, I feel like, to be safe on this, you're currently like, I think it's a 75. 8th place at the moment is Lucas Mullau, who we just saw open up this second run.
Yes, Bachata.
Back in at the top.
Flare over the hitching post. Blender switch 270. Oh yes, with the 1 foot, 450 up 1 foot, back 270 off the top of the rainbow rail. Jesper's amazing. There's the double Misty 900, which should have been 10. Somehow he does that. Don't know how. Switch blender, alley-oop, double 12 on the Twisted Sister. A very aggressive line into the bowl here. Double 1260, land switch. He's got a really good line into the QP. Really, really good line. Switch front flip, last second, whips it to switch. So that's a switch Misty. Ah, yes, Pacheta, you're brilliant, you're brilliant, you're brilliant. Switch to Pretzel 270 to finish things off. If that doesn't make it into the semi-finals, I don't know what's going on.
He's currently on a 76th in 6th. I think that would be enough. But he's got to be pushing up with this, surely.
Surely. That was just such a beautiful run. I mean, it all does come down to the judges, how they perceive everything. They get a really close eye. Yes, that mute grab was just a touch. Got it, let go quite early, landed on his edges. But the way that he landed on his edges meant that he had an epic line into the QP.
Okay, cast your eyes onto the graphics before we watch Tormod drop in. And it's T-Pod on an 80-point massive lift for him into 5th.
Teapot stoked. Let's see if Tormod can odge his way up as well, although he's happily sitting on an 80. A wonderful rail run for T. He's coming in switch double 10. It's a beautiful, I just love the way that he switched hand drag 360s over the rainbow. Switch double 12 on all sorts of a different axis out of the Twisted Sister. Double 1080 out of the bowl. Not as high amplitude as we'd want to see, but it's technically brilliant so far in this run. Right side 900 for Tormod. 270 on, front 270 off. A lovely run. 2 brilliant runs as far as they go for Tormod.
Yeah, he's he's on that 80.75 in 4th place. You think it's going to push it up?
Hard to tell.
I always think that it's great, like their reaction, the skier's reaction, is possibly the easiest way to tell. And he doesn't look like he's expecting it, but
I think although it's beautiful, see he's doing this switch 360 hand drag over the rainbow rail into a switch double 10 on the first jump. It's beautiful, but I know that we got more out to you. Valentin Morel with a beautiful rail run. Yeah, he came unstuck in his first run, so it's all to do here. Switch 270, backside 450 out of cannon. So sick. You love a shifty, don't you?
always.
Gotta. Switch double 10 blunt on the first jump. Got that one out of the way. Now he's cooking into the Twisted Sister. Left. Switch. Double 900. Yes. Better than run one. Absolutely. Double 1080 out of the bowl. He's good. Valentin Morel just got to get through this quarter pipe and rail combo at the bottom. There's a beautiful down the pipe rodeo 540 mute grab nose butter 450 disaster on the waterfall. He's stoked. Yes.
And that's what I was talking about with the athlete reaction. Mm-hmm. Absolutely pumped on that. You see that release.
Mm. And you can see the difference between a clay and a, oh my God, I'm stoked.
Yeah. It's like, yes, I did it. the relief that he's managed to put that down. And you talked a lot about him. Like, he's got so much style. He's one of those skiers that you want to see go deep in this competition.
You do, because he brings a different flavour to it, reminiscent of that Henrik Harlow style. It's great to see. Everyone can put their own flavour on this free ski game, and that's what makes it so beautiful.
Okay, back in heat 1.
Mag forehand.
Mag forehand.
Quick 270 up to the front side of that rainbow, front side 630 off with a safety grab, holding all the speed he possibly can. Switch right side at double 1440 from Mac. Switch left all the way off the top of the Twisted Sister. That's the line that you want to see. The judge is going to be hyped on the amplitude he got on that switch double 1260 mute grab. Huge once again out of the bowl, landing off the course. What a legend.
Showing everyone how it should be done.
It was Mac that did the nose butter cork for 720 in the QP to the switch 450 on the waterfall. Mac forehand, a caliber of just the best.
He used every inch of that Twisted Sister, didn't he? He sent it right off the corner, so he got so much pop, so much height out of that. But then he did the same out, like there was no speed check. He drove hard into the shark fins.
That was a brilliant run. The judges are going to absolutely froth on that. I know they are, because he used every bit of the course. Exactly like you said, Ed. If that Twisted Sister, right, there's the low corner and the high corner, why are you not going right off the nose of that thing?
Well, that's the question you could ask. Who did we see? Colby.
I know he meant it. I know he meant it. Colby doesn't do things without thinking about it.
Well, we'll
Can't
have
wait to see it.
For everyone out there, I know that Woodsy's going to go straight out and ask Colby after this is finished. So tune back in for the semi-finals and we'll answer that. Okay, so Oliver Magnusson on course. Mac forehand moves into first. Biggest score of the day so far, a 92 for the American. Big score there. A statement run from Mac forehand as Magnusson comes into the Twisted Sisters.
Oliver, beautiful run thus far. Switch 12 out of that second jump with that mute grab. He's got a lot of speed as he comes into a double rodeo 1080 alley-oop out of the bowl. And a nice line cutting into the QP. It's a cork 5 flare. On the quarter pipe, it's the last hit. 450, out to switch. Oliver Magnusson, another little fist bump, boom. That's a solid run. This is so classic.
So Oliver Magnusson currently in 14th on a 60.5. You've got Axel Bermanson, his fellow countryman, on a 66.75 in 12th. That is the bubble score. Colby Stevenson in 11th. Luca Harrington in 10th. Those three very nervous at the moment, but Colby and Axel at least have more runs up their sleeve to answer. But what do you reckon? How much higher than a 60.5 is this run going, Woodsy?
Yeah, heaps. That was pretty good. There was a tickle of the grab in the switch 1260, but I think that was much more solid than run 1 for Oliver Magnusson.
Max Moffat looking for redemption here. He got hung up on this second rail.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic what happened to Max on his first run, but there we go. That's it. He's off on to a good one. Starts it off with a rodeo off the hitching post. The switch lip front 450 out of the DFD. Big corks front side 630 off the cannon, and a classic Max Moffat switch 12 going absolute last line on the first jump. Double 10 again, huge. It's down to the money of this. Where's Max going? 450 up to the weird section. Switch 540 off. Yes, Max. Yes, Max. Yes, Max. Same line as we saw from Ahol and Matei. Beautiful approach to a very interesting feature. Flat 360 in the QP. Switch 2, pretzel 270 down the bottom. Max Moffat with a vengeance. Glad to see he's not too hurt from that first run crash.
It was lovely, wasn't it, watching him put that little nightmare to bed. As soon as he greased that second rail, it was on. First straight jump, the purchase he created in that, absolutely huge.
Up, said Max. And yeah, last line on everything. This was the interesting one. 540 up to the top. Boom! Bounces off the noses into a switch 540. That's just so cool. I love it.
I think that's going to get close to Mac forehand. I really do. Let's see.
An interesting one coming up. We've got to watch really closely here with Colby Stevenson coming in. 270. Pretzel 270 out of the down bar. We're paying special attention to whatever Colby is up to on the third feature here. Switch. Right side. Double. Was that a 10 or a 14? I don't know. Cutting off really small. Here we go. Switch. 720. Yes,
Butter.
he did it deliberate. Yeah.
Butter off the knuckle. Oh, my life.
That was unbelievable. And a nose butter.
But he's currently the bubble boy in 12th. Oliver Magnussen moved over him into 9th with a 71, so he needs this.
He just has to learn this. 720 in the QP with a mute grab. Switch to the forwards, Colby Stevenson. Yeah.
That was so basic, so he didn't make a mistake on that last rail.
Totally. Look at that. This is so classic free skiing. Like, some good scores coming in, but so many bobbles on run 1, and then the big dogs just come and plow through run 2.
Beautiful light.
Anyone
for this
thought
run
they were
as well.
squeaking
Look
in.
at it, the sun creeping under that cloud, casting some shadow, but still diffused.
This is the interesting one. Switch.
This is everything.
Right off the low angle, absolutely nothing to be questioned. He hit that knuckle on his noses, bounced it back round to forward for
But
this.
it's not hitting the knuckle. He measured it so perfectly. You could see he rode 2 or 3 meters with the skis fully flexed then. That was unbelievable control.
I couldn't agree more. Brilliant skiing from Colby Stevenson. I mean, just look at what this fella's up to all over the mountain. He's a backcountry legend already, and he's not even left the slopestyle circuit.
Okay, that is going to be a hotly awaited score from Colby Stevenson. Where are the judges going to put that nose butter out of the twist? Nose butter landing out of the Twisted Sisters. That's a big challenge for them. Judges taking their time.
It's a big challenge. And you know what? Yeah, it was a nose butter. But I say bounce because there's a variation of nose butters.
Max Moffat, 84.75, coming in 4th.
Nice. Anyone thinking they were squeaking through with a high 60s or a low 70s now is nervous.
Okay, so the bubble score is 71 for Mattis Fanza in Heat 1 right now.
Wow.
Got some big names who are just starting to get, I imagine, a little bit panicked. The tide's going out and they haven't got their boats floated yet, Woodsy.
Yeah, it's really unnerving to actually hear that Luca and Tay are down there in those lower sections. It's really interesting to hear. Yeah, as you said earlier, Luca doesn't have another run to up his score, so he's nervous. I'm very curious of what he did. Was that Colby getting his score?
Yep.
What did he get?
Well, it hasn't come in the top 8 there, has it?
Which is really interesting to me, man.
Did not improve.
No way.
Did not improve on a 68.25.
No way.
I think we need to take the judges outside and get them to have a long, hard look at themselves.
Now, the thing is, you never know what's happened. As you're in the judging booth, you're looking at very different things all over the show. If
They
someone
took
missed a
their
grab,
time on that, and they took a long time on that, and Colby didn't celebrate it massively. Oh, no, he did.
You know, the only thing that was possibly weird was his first jump. But it wasn't bad. Even if it was that switch 10, did he hit? No. I don't know what was wrong with Colby's run there, but evidently something. Here it is. That was so gorgeous. And then he did this nose butter out of the ball here. We get a really good replay. That was absolutely gorgeous. Going bigger than so many people that we haven't even... This was deliberate, man. That was deliberate by far.
It fully was.
And we've seen so many people post very high scores. Max Moffat, Alex Hall, Matej, yes,
Do you
is down
think the
there, but he had
judges
other
are
bobbles.
calling that a revert?
They best not be, to be honest.
Yeah, well, your assignment, once this Qualis is finished, Woodsy, is to go down to the judges' booth and find out where the hole was in that. Because right now, it's looking very unlikely that Colby Stevenson is going to qualify for semis.
What's he sitting on?
12th place on a 68.25. Yeah, he's bubble boy.
Oh, you're kidding me. But it was beautiful. If you see it,
It's unbelievable. That's the hardest, one of the hardest things we've seen today. Who else can land with that kind of precision?
I don't know. I actually don't know. And then he links into that off the quarter pipe bowl. Oh, it's Ben Barclay's on course already. 270 on front side. Cork 630 off the cannon. Switch. Double. 1260 going huge. No. Ben Barclay has whiffed it again. That is so unfortunate for Ben. He
Heartbreak
deserves
Hotel.
a place in this semi-finals, but when it doesn't come together.
But there's 60 skiers out here. And at the moment, like, we're looking at a large percent, over 60% of them have put a run down now and got a score on the board. And that's, you have got to do that much.
Yeah, well, that is exactly the case. And
That is the assignment, essentially.
an unfortunate bow out of this competition for Ben Barclay. A
Time.
slip up on the first rail and then what? Going too big on the first jump? That's just unfair, it feels like.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Because when you know what someone's capable of, you think, oh, you feel a little bit robbed of
And
not
you want
seeing their best.
You want to win, but you want to beat everyone on their best day. You know, that's kind of the ethos out here, and you want to see everyone put it down and see how your stuff lines up against everyone's best.
Well, it's the danger of any kind of subjective sport like this when at their very core, everyone's competing against themselves. If the pressure gets people, or you have a pandemic of bails and falls, it becomes who's the least rubbish. And that's the worst kind of comp.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's those ones where you just get one up. Have we got on course here?
No, it's Fabian Bosch. Thought it might have been
Bosch.
Miro. 270 pretzel, 270 off. Again, an excellent way to prove your absolute prowess on the rails.
Currently 14th, so looking for a decent improvement.
And Fabian had a pretty good run on the first, I remember. Massive right side double 12 blunt on the first jump. Switch, diving, double misty 1260. And has a good line into the quarter pipe bowl here. Double 1260 the other way to the left. That was quite a big revert.
And a big speed check. I get some amplitude there, though.
Yeah, really nice flowy switch alley-oop 540 in the QP into a switch 270, blind 270 out. It was clean. He had everything there. All the ingredients for a great run. Now, the composition of that, the overall impression, that's down to the judges. And now we're seeing, as you say, at least 60% of this field stick in runs over the two. It becomes technical.
Well,
I'm still thrown, if I'm honest, by Colby's score.
Well, this is going to be the big test. So Fabian's on a 63, and a great run, but in comparison to Colby's, quite vanilla. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, he ticked the boxes. He did what he had to do. Colby just bringing so much heat, and if I'm honest, he went massive. He did lots of good stuff. It's just going to be a very interesting thing.
So bring you back.
Miro, as we go, 270, noses down onto that down rail. I really love it. Switch on, front cork 630 off. The cannon. Switch right, double 14, Japan. Good, solid air. Not the biggest, definitely not the smallest that we've seen today. Switch, double 1260 again, getting onto the bigger side on the second jump, hitting the skiers left out of the QP bowl. Oh no.
Oh, it was starfish midair, lost himself.
Super unfortunate, lost himself as you say, has to hold it to a single flip-in sort of rotation versus the double flip that he was going for. Maybe a little bit of that cloud cover coming in, a little bit flat lie, but Miro evidently unhappy about it.
This one's down to experience for the Italian. We're back up the top, just powering through these. It's Miro's replay.
I like that. He did it with a pole plant too. There was a little personality as if you needed more. How do you pole plant when you're doing a 270 on with your noses down?
You know who's influenced him there. Family friend Alberto Tomba.
Yeah.
Apparently he used to come around the house when they were kids. Their parents know Alberto Tomba. The man very famously quoted as saying, when I was 25, I would have one woman till 4. Now that I'm 40, I have 4 women till 1.
You know what? I'm going to need a little bit of time to think that one through.
Possibly. He was one full of personality, should we say. Okay, Hunter Henderson in Heat 2. He's currently sat in 6th on that 78, so not too much pressure on him.
but he will want to improve. Now, that is where he came a little bit wobbly on the first round. There was that nose butter 450 on, threw that down to King Crow. So, already a drastic improvement. He's got a lot of the big tricks we see down here. Switch, double, cork, 1440 with a rev mute. Difficult to get yourself into that position. Switch right side, double Misty 1260, absolutely whoppingly huge. And how does he hold it together? How does he have that much speed to do a double 1080 out of the quarter pipe bowl? That's just amazing. What a strong skier. 900 in the quarter pipe, nose butter 450 the other way, I might say, onto the down bar at the bottom. What the judges are going to do with that big heavy landing, because it was heavy, I don't know, but
I think the judges have been, that's one element that we're starting to see the judges punish. They actually, if you're going fourth or fifth line but you're really lumpy on the landing, I think they're punishing you. Colby Stevenson right now is out. He's in 13th.
whoa.
Yep. So
this was Hunter's first hit there, squeaking around a switch double 14. But the thing is, he is a big spinning check on the smallest jump of this course, but that was a massive switch double bio 12. Goodness me. Hunter, what's he squatting?
probably about 370 kilos per leg.
on that landing, certainly. Oh, that's us. Hi.
We're up in the galaxy looking down over the course. So right now, Heat 2, Andrew Rigetli in first with 88, Kim Gubsa on an 84.25. Then it's Jesper Schade, Valentin Morel with his second run, pushed himself into the top four. A-Hall dropped down, he's on that flat 80 points in fifth. Hunter Henderson, still waiting for a score. Oh no, they've just put a DNI up, did not improve, so he will take that first run score. Chris McCormick still in seventh, Conor Ralph 8th, Ollie Magnussen in 9th, Fabian Bosch in 10th, Thibaut Magnin in 11th, and Luca Harrington in 12th. Colby Stevenson just outside the top 12 in 13th. So over in Heat 1 though, we've got Mac Forehand, that big second run for him, leading the pack ahead of Burt Rude, Evan McEachran, Max Moffat, another second run redemption there for the Canadian. Server now on course.
Young American switch 270, Pretzel 270 off, the other way switch 2, tapping that rainbow on the way up, backside 450 out. I love that switch stance, cutting in very calm. Switch double 1080 on the first jump. Switch right side, diving double Misty 12. Now, taking a note from Hunter Henderson on the run before, don't go quite so big, the judges didn't dig it. Right side double 10 out of the shark fin.
James Kansler holding on to this run.
Oh, did you think that was a hand plan?
I thought it was for a second.
I've been begging someone to hand plan that quarter pipe.
Left side flare back up the hill.
Very nice.
So 20th place right now for James Kansler on a 26.75. How far can he push that score? Right now the bubble is 71 for Maddis Fanza in Heat 1.
I would say it's a very nice run. However, we have seen very nice. There was no mistakes in that, which is seeming to be a good thing. Like
what you just called his run nice.
I know.
There's so many words you can use, but
yeah, but I called Colby's Epicatron.
Exactly. So
maybe I don't know what I'm talking
You're perhaps
about.
not on the same wavelength. No, let's be diplomatic here. You're just not on the same wavelength as the judges today.
I like it. Not in all things. I did call Mac forehand being excellent, and straight up and down. Only scoring a 90s thus far. It's
what?
Front swap back 450 out of the kink, double kink.
But the tips down, it almost looked like that was full like nose blunt skate slide on a rail. That was beautiful. So deep.
So deep. Switch right side, double 1080. Diving again into switch double Misty 1260. A little bit of a sit down, but not. I think we may have had an unfavorable angle of that because that really wasn't too much. Certainly didn't affect his speed.
The drone can flatten stuff so easily. Ulrich Samnoy, the Norwegian, really enjoying this run. Oh, just held that. He was under-rotated in transition. And that was a little bit... Look, it looked like he'd done some DIY on that last rail, didn't it? It was
That was that G-force coming out of the quarter pipe. After all those big landings, the G-force of being a little bit backseat coming in forwards into that last rail. It's like, oh, your quads are burning at that point. Lovely double cork 720, just floating it 1, 2 over the top of the cameraman there.
Oof. Okay, we'll keep an eye on Ulrich Samnoy's score there, let you know where that one comes in. Right now, back into heat 1. This is Petr Muller out of the Czech Republic. He's on a 6 from that first run, so he's got a lot of work to do here, Woodsy.
A lot of work at 270 on. Oh no, catching the kink and getting spat out of the front. 270 on, front side 270 out. Unfortunately coming unstuck through the rails, but he's going to cruise these jumps. There's 360 hanging it out to dry. It is so disappointing. Just to mess your 2 runs is just disappointing because you can't show what you can do. Obviously has a deep understanding of this course, going massive out of that second feature there, but
another heartbreaking run. We talk about this a lot. We said it about Ben Barkley. You just want to be able to show your best on this stage. That's the important bit. It's like, just want to get a rundown.
Exactly so. Whatever the score is, yeah, we can debate it here, there, and everywhere. But if you put your best down, you know, that's all you can actually do. It's art out here. You know, some people are drawing trees with crayons, and some people are painting mountains with paintbrushes. You know, it's up to someone else to judge what's better.
Okay, Javier Liso out of Spain. This kid currently sat on an 18.5, so again, needs something big here.
Javier does have it now. There's a switch 270, frontside 270 off. I can call that a shifty. The other way, switch 2 onto the cannon, shifty back 270 out of that one. So mixing up both switch 270s. Nice carving double 1260 blunt on the first jump. Looks like a switch alley-oop through the Twisted Sisters, double bio. 1260 double Japan,
and he was right out the top of the corner on
which
that Twisted Sister.
Really like, and it played so well for Mac forehand. Exactly the same there. Really big, boosting out of the shark fin bowl double 12.
Light on the quarter, I've got to say it. I watched him speed check, and I thought it was, why are you doing it? Go big.
Yeah, when you see that speed check coming into the QP, you know that so much speed has been lost. However, that was just the only one of the 4 air features that he didn't go huge on. So
True.
And additionally, he did 270 on, pretzel 270 off of a elbow down the bottom there, which is, if I was a judge, I'd heavily weight that because that's much more difficult than a straight down low. Look at that boost he got off there, right off the corner, exactly as you
So
said.
far up there, yeah, and here's your elbow. Good control through there. Chris McCormick on course. Is it? No.
No. Chris doesn't wear that bright kind of yellow. He gets shot down in Glasgow for that one. Yes, I remember from the first one, that inside flare 450 flip out of the cannon, double 1260, really interesting wrap to hold.
It's Sean Jensen. He's on a 61 in 17th at the moment. Apologies, Sean.
17th, we need an improvement, but that's not going to cut it. It's a heavy come down on the second jump. Oh, it's devastating to see it.
His quads hung on for about 4 seconds of probably 8 Gs. He was probably carrying about 800 kgs for a couple of seconds there.
I back it, and now he's got to run, grab it. That is so unfortunate.
Look at that. That was like Emi Martinez.
It was quite impressive, wasn't it? One ski,
Proper goalkeeper skills.
Because if your ski's running like you snowboard, if it's running at the top of the mountain, that's not going to stop until it gets to flims.
Have you ever seen a snowboard run off the top
it's
of the
so
hill?
scary.
You're
so
just
scary.
watching to see if there's anyone fall line below it, because he'll chop someone's head off.
Oh, totally. It's very scary, Curtin Martin.
Okay.
Nose bar, 270 on, frontside 270 off. Kai Martin needs an improvement. Switch onto the cannon, back 630 off. Love that pretzel control. Plenty speed on the first jump. Let's see if he uses it. Double 1080, lands forward. Start off this jump run very nicely. Carvin, double 12, squeaks it around somehow. How was he fighting for amplitude? I do not know when everyone's going so big right now. Switch alley-oop. It's 1080 on the QPs. And now it's the classic. There it is. That was what was intended on the first run. Switch alley-oop, 360 up to the lip, grind, drops it down to switch 270 onto the down bar, holds it forwards.
Beautiful to see his reaction to that as well.
And I love the approach to the quarter pipe down the bottom. I really like that. It's different. You know, a lot of people are sort of saying, you either boost and go massive, or you're doing something quite medium. And Kai Martin with a completely different approach there, and I love that.
Yeah, I love, like, you're almost signposting your transition mediocrity.
Yes.
If you're less than a ski length out of the top of the coping.
Totally.
If your skis while you're rotating out of the quarter are still within sight of the coping, then yeah, go and find something else. Meanwhile, Matty Svancer just got pushed out of the top 12 in heat 1.
All right, we do not like to hear that. That's a cork 3, hand drag over the hitching post. Nose is down, 270, press 2 on the top down bar. 450 up, back 450 off, winding it up and holding it all together. Matej squeaking over the first knuckle, switch right, double 10, but it looks like he's cooking into this next section. Oh no, he pulled his ski off mid-air in a switch double 1260, and you're telling me that he's just got bumped out? Is that the last we're seeing of Matej this week? Don't tell me things like that, Ed.
I'm really sorry, Woodsy.
I don't want to know it. I want to know something different.
I regret to inform you that Matty Svancer will not be skiing in the semi-finals.
Anyone just listening, just don't worry. He pulled his ski off in the air. He landed nicely on one ski, but it's just too many G's even for that man to hold it together. So he just slid out to his side.
I want to see that landing off I think it's off the first kicker off here.
It's basically one foot.
It looks like Fred Astaire here. He's dancing. There's rhythm to it. It's unbelievable.
Oh no, he landed absolutely perfectly. He just tweaked the mute grab behind his back, and when you do that, the only way you learn how much is too much to rag on that mute grab is to pull it off in the air a couple of times. So Matej, dude, you don't pull it, you make it look like you're pulling it.
Okay, next up, Manatsu Sato out of Japan. Currently got a 16. He's got some work to do here. I mean, in his heat, Manatsu's currently down in 24th. Luca Harrington is bubble with 68.75. Has Manatsu got a run in him that can push him up to that level?
Well, what we saw from Luca was phenomenal. He went huge. Big spin, double 14 on the first jump, switch 12 on the second, big double 10 out of the QP. I am getting very confusing. Let's just call it the shark fin. Can we just say that for me? It's the shark fin. Boom. So Luca had a spectacular run. If you're trying to bump Luca off that bubble, it's got to be big. It's got to be clean. Yeah, it's hard for me even to think that Luca is on that bubble right now. There must have been some incredible skiing today.
Well, we're at the halfway point. Oh, no, he's let it go already, hasn't he?
That was in. Oh, no. That's
nearly did the same thing again.
Yeah, you never, ever, ever want to see someone go down early in the run, and it was just a little catch, wasn't it, off the backside of the hitching post.
I find it, this is a bigger picture thing, but I find it absolutely fascinating that the Japanese utterly dominate all of the park and pipe disciplines in snowboarding, and they've got such a small showing in freeski. Do you think it's a cultural thing?
I just think
that
ski hasn't tapped just yet, but it will.
Yeah. It has to at some point. It
will.
To.
But you do see it as well when you've got massive influencers, top of the game. Like there's gonna be more snowboarders coming out of Japan right now because you see what the influence is. Oh yeah, that was a close to a little tapper. Yeah, and that was unfortunate. That wasn't even the kiss of death on the rail. That was the switch no tail butter. And if you're buttering, you gotta get up on those tips or tails. You can't be just shimmying around. You can't be because you're gonna catch. Yeah, I know it's scary.
Okay, a little bit of Wolf of Wall Street there, and we are dropping.
Switch 360, tail tap over the hitching post, switch 270, nice, I like it, tails up and over, clean as a bean, pretzel 2. Ooh, other way switch 2, backslide through the rainbow rail, back 2 out. Very slick, Rick.
Nils Reiner.
Oh, wow, that was a right side double 10, held blind to 900, so it's switch into a, oh, that might have been the biggest one of the day off the Twisted Sisters, switch 1260, gapping past the last line, and a huge double 10. Right, this is looking pretty good, just hang on to it. Alley-oop flare, blunt, lands low, cuts in, it's the waterfall, noses down 270 out to forwards.
Do you know where Nils comes from?
No.
The most fantastically named town in Switzerland.
Don't tell me. You're not allowed to say it on air.
I can. Grabs.
Oh, perfect. Had a couple other ones in mind.
Like Bad Raggers.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
love Bad Raggers. Okay, back up at the top. Jenny Lee's brother, Axel.
I love that. I love that. It's so great to see the heritage dribbling through, you know, family members. You know, we got Henry Silderu, Kelly's younger brother. You know, we got Jenny's younger brother coming in now. Who else was? Oh yeah, it was Miro and Floor being related. That was a new find for
And
me
I'm
today.
pretty sure Nils and Fadri are, aren't they?
Oh what? Man, this is so exciting. Love that. 360 nose tap over the hitching post, back swap, continuing front 270 on the down, flat down, which is a very different. Oh, I love a cheeky backslide. Switch 270 on the backslide. That's just the 1 foot, the behind one on that rainbow rail. Continuing back 270 off. A beautiful landing on a left 1260 blunt. Not the biggest we've seen of the day, but a landing like that, so clean. Another swaggy Tom Wallachy after bang on that second landing. Oh man, if there was scores right now for clean landings, this fella's on point. Flare, landing a little deep, not the amplitude that we would want, but new to the game, 270, front 270 out. You know what? A really nice run, you know, ticking all the boxes. Not the biggest on the amplitude anywhere on the course. However, cleanliness to a million.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, if you ask the judges at least.
And I really like that. And, you know, he's a young'un, he's on the up and coming, and if you've got the confidence to just put your skis down like that, each and every time, you're just learning. Like, every single time you take off and land in an event, you're learning. You know? You're learning. And he's just drilling it that I land when I compete. And I love to see that. It's confidence just shining through.
Okay, back on Heat 1. We'll keep you updated on Axel's score.
Switch 540, no tail tap over the hitching post, continuing front swap, continuing 2 out, switch 2-1, dive in front 450 off, similar to what we saw from local boy Andrew Rigetti earlier. Switch double misty, 1260 down into the lower lines.
Martin Nordqvist, the Swede.
Right double 10, going with the flow of the direction of that twisted takeoff. The shark fins left, double 1260. You love to see the no. Oh goodness, I thought he was going to reeve
down, wasn't it?
It was a heavy landing, but there was nothing technically wrong with it. But that bone roll doesn't cut the mustard, I'm afraid. It was beautiful in the air. He just landed and did like a full 360 revert. Once he'd landed off the shark fins, it kind of all went to custard.
Yeah, it was fully improvised after that, wasn't it?
I say that because you say that. You say that it goes to custard, and I really liked it the first time I heard it.
Okay, Martin Nordqvist. Unfortunately, he's going to sit on that 29. So Noah Porter McLennan, no. This is our replay.
Tough to know when it's a replay, when it's all coming so hot and fast.
Yeah, and we haven't got the graphics on everything, so forgive us if we're a little bit slow on stuff, but we're trying to keep up with dual panel judging. We've got 8 ski judges, but they've been split 4 and 4, and they're each taking one of the heats. So we're belting through these 2, running them side by side. Right now you can see the top 8. It's the top 12 in each heat will go through to the semi-finals. And right now, I think it's Vincent Fell coming up, is it?
It certainly is. Into the hitching post, 360 with that nose tap. We've seen a few of those today. I like a bit of attitude on that first feature. It's how you enter your run. 270, front side 270 off, switch on, big spin, 630 out.
Scores just come in for Axel Bermanson. He is in 12th. He's shifted Luca Harrington out.
You are joking me. Wow, the judges got to have a couple of chats today. Big switch 1260 going huge. I switched 900 going huge. Then into that dive-in double. Bio on the second jump. Double 10 going out of frame even. He's gone so big on the shark fin. A big speed check though. A big speed check. Far too big into that QP. Diving out just a little bit, landing low and
Off early. Yeah, the wheels came up again. We've seen a run we talked about, who was it earlier on? I think it was Mac Forehand or Kim Gubsa? Like the run just building, like the cadence. Henry Silderu. The run building, knockout blow. This run faded.
Yeah.
Started strong and clean and then just gently starts to disappear. From this point especially.
It was this landing, wasn't it? It was this landing, just came in. Oh no, he went so big, it was the quarter pipe. But that is something that we see in the half pipe all the time, because you can engineer it. But making your way through a slopestyle park, where your features are defined for you, if you can build through the run, you're really a master of your craft.
Yeah, that's when it shows, isn't it? Henry Silderu. Big run for him. Okay.
Noah PM, lip 270, front side 270 off, clean as a whistle. Love that switch stance. It's very cool, it's very calm. Both ways. Looking over the right shoulder now. Switch double 1440, getting that round. Switch left. I love how much switch is in this run thus far. Switch left side double 12, going big. That's where we saw Matej Svansa rip his ski off on that same grab there, and Noah manages to hold it all together. Left side double 10 out of the shark fin. Looks like plenty speed into the QP. Yes, it was. 270 on the elbow. Out to switch. That's an excellent rail run.
He's looking back up the hill.
Got to be happy. Got to be happy. That was a really nice run. Plenty of amplitude, plenty of travel in the quarter pipe as well. He was coming in very quick. You know, we didn't see that shiv of the speed as he came into that quarter pipe, which really played in his favor. Back-to-back switch double corks, 14 there to the left, to the right on the first one, left 12 on the second one. A little bit of a poke that I didn't see in real time. Now, probably the only bit of that run was the double 10 that was just ever so slightly low amplitude, but beautiful.
Okay, Chris McCormick going in heat 2, and Chris is at the moment holding on to 7th with a 76.75.
Great form. There's the back swap, cutting it back out to forwards on the hitching post. Lots of travel, clean as a whistle, as you come to expect from Chris McCormick. Switch on, front side 630 off, shifty, perfect. Right then, Chris into the first jump, switch right side, double 1440 with a beautiful blunt. Second to last line, that's about the size you want to go before you come down too heavy. Switch left double 12, rev mute. Coming into the shark fin, left side 720 blunt. QP, Chris McCormick, 900, leading tail, legs together, clean as a whistle. One of the better grabs that we have seen in the QP. Front swap, front 2, out of the waterfall. 2 runs for 2 from the man of Glasgow.
That's going to give him so much confidence, isn't it?
Oh, smiled, he smiled. We've seen him smile on camera. It was only a flicker, but it happened. Screen grab. Someone go back and screen grab. You never see that.
That was like watching a snow leopard in the wild.
Yeah, totally. That was really cool. We've seen Hunter Henderson and Chris McCormick do that rev mute in the switch double corks. Not an easy position to get into.
I think that might push his score up a little bit.
Interesting. It's the QP that's holding him back. It's the shark fin that's holding him back.
Nicola Bollinger.
That he came unstuck on the first run, but he had a beautiful rail run, reminiscent now. 1 foot backslide, holding the nose down that down bar, and oh no, that's not fair. No,
that was ridiculous.
The ski comes off on the takeoff.
Did you see the way he kicked that?
Yeah,
that was a man kicking his ski in anger.
Yeah, we got to see a replay and see why that ski came off early. As he took off, here we go. He's tucking in. He's low. You know what? That is just so unfortunate. You know what happened? He's like loading up his edges to lean into it, but he just didn't quite get that full extension off the jump. So he's leaning into his edges, waiting for that spring that didn't come. Yeah. The spring came through the binding and his ski flew off. That was teeing up to be such a good run, and again, all you want to do is show what you can. It's so unfortunate for Bollinger that he didn't get his way down that course.
Okay, Oris Kovalenko out of the Ukraine, getting ready to drop. We're getting to the business end of men's freeski slopestyle qualifiers here at the 10th edition of the LAAX Open. Tiny bit early off on that second rail as he comes into the cannon.
Switch on front 630 again, squeaking it round, but he has made it through these rails down to our jump section. Switch double 900, goodness gracious, that was a squeak over the knuckle.
Yeah, and it was a wheelie down the landing, wasn't it? Just so many little execution issues here.
Slightly lacking on speed, it's just getting it around, but a double out of the QP.
There it is. Each of those landings was getting progressively tighter. So.
And that messes with your mind. As you're coming through a course, you know, like you're shredding down this park. If you're on the back foot, you're only going to make your way more so.
Yeah. So Oris Kovalenko out of Ukraine, probably going to sit on that 34.5 from his first run score.
Oh, yes. But the thing is, he didn't know he was coming up small then, so he had the awareness to whip his tips in.
Yeah, you have the internal speedometer for your speed, don't you? And then you know how much time you should have in the air. You're like, the ground's a bit closer than it should be, so I'm just going to keep this tucked for now. Okay, he had a beautiful first run, real sense of drama to it. We talked about the timing, we talked about the build. Henry Sildaru back at the top of the course, currently sat in 8th on a 78.25. I think he's going to try and build on this. I don't think he's going to sit on his laurels.
Look how dominating of a presence he is in that start gate. Henry Sildaru is huge.
Is he?
He's so tall.
Well, you were banging on about the fact that he hadn't filled out.
Yeah, I know. He's going to be scary.
Is he?
Yeah, he's going to be scary. Because he used to be this tiny little grommy, you know? But the thing is, you know, this is like the first run syndrome. Henry was so clean that I think he might, if he put down the exact same run right now that he did on his first run, I think he would see an improvement in his score. Just because we've seen so many others ski through this course now that, as you say, the building of the energy as he comes through the park, I think that'll give a lot more flair to it, as we've seen so many of the world's best actually struggle their way through this course.
And let's not forget, the judges have watched. They're coming up on, 120 runs now. We're probably at the 100 run mark. And there is merit in really letting the judges, lighting them up.
Yeah, get them off their seat, get them in the air.
Yeah.
And I mean, we haven't seen any other 1260s down the bottom, have we? Andy went massive.
Went huge.
Slides cross court on the hitching post, K-fed. And there it is, front swap, back swap. 270 out of the double kink. It's switch onto the rainbow of Henry Sildaru. Oh, what a lock! Wow, he really hit that rainbow, the upside of it, front 450 out. Left side, nose, butter, double 12 blunt, squeaked over. Buddy only took off on the nose butter, so it's hard to get that amplitude. It's clean so far for Estonia's own. Oh, why did I say that? Why did I say that, man? Puts his hand down on a switch double 12, unfortunately, but he's still cruising through the run.
Let's see if he does the 12 here. He's going to.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, he's just dialed. He knows he's moving through on this competition. He's like, I need that 12 dialed.
Love seeing that. Love the fact that he still put it out there, and he's like, yeah, I'll just use that again and again. I want to make sure I've got it, no matter how much speed I've got there. I want to know that I can throw that one round.
Why did I say clean about 3 seconds before he puts his hand down?
I'm pretty certain at this point that Henry Sildaru is going through on that 78.25 in 8th. We only have a handful of skiers left to drop. I am going to
Dude, look at this. That was unreal. He should have switched down the pipe double 1260. I missed it in real time because we sort of turned away as he put his hand down. But he a switch double down the pipe 1260 out of the shark fins like that is nigh impossible, bro.
Okay.
Wow, we're expecting big things from Henry in the final.
Okay, Aidan Mulvihill. Just skating in.
Cross court, fast slide. That's the front foot, not the back foot only.
Tidy, wasn't it?
Really tidy. 270 pretzel, 270 out. Mega technical. When you make it look as clean as that, it looks easy, but it's not easy to do that. 10 out of 10. Front 630 off the cannon. Switch. Double. 1260 Japan. What a nice landing. Straight bolts into this next jump. Double 1440. Again, bolts. This is a really clean run. Left side. Double 720. Whips it round to 9.
Early speed check.
Early
Let's see if he
speed
can hold
check.
it.
But it's switch on the quarter pipe. Actually, fairly decent amplitude, especially for a switch alley-oop. 540. Switch 270. 2 switch.
That was
Clean.
Yeah. Ooh, something for the judges to think about. Currently in 17th on that 57.25. Bubble score is, let's go to the ranks, Axel Bermanson on a 69.25.
That's difficult because both of them, actually, you know what, that's a little less difficult because they were both clean as a whistle. So it comes down to the technical factors on between those two if they are analysing whether it's final worthy.
First 2 jumps from Aidan here were exquisite.
Yeah, it was just too early, wasn't it, that speed check?
Yeah, I really didn't like. For some reason, that just didn't sit with me. I don't know why he put it in quite so high.
Well, I know why. He lands clean, puts in the speed check, then carries the line switch, but it was too soon. It looked like part of the trick.
Yeah. When actually it wasn't. It was full control of that landing instantly, wasn't it?
It was actually pretty wise, but the judges won't like it. All right, it's a beautiful rail run thus far. Switch, double, right side 900. Getting over that knuckle. Nice lead halfway down the landing.
Luka
Left,
Kuharek.
double 10. I had a hesitation there because he sort of like fiddled with his grab, didn't like solidly grab it. Right side double 10 out of the quarter pipes. Left alley-oop 540, wiggling that one round, but it's a smooth line onto the waterfall. Front swap, out to forwards. A nice run, lacking a couple grabs. Really liked it through the rails though. The 270 on front side 450 off the down dink was a very smooth way to play on the first rail. Takes a lot of courage to hit those kink rails up top. There we go. Front 270 on, front side 450 off, clean as a whistle. You get it right on those rails, and the kinks will actually help you.
Yeah, fire you out.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, goes in for it, missed it the first time, got that mu grab on the second pull. .360 to the left, nose tap over the hitching post, down, flat down, front swap, out to switch, really clean, didn't make that kink look aggressive at all, that was awesome. Left side 270, nollie-ish, backside 270 off the rainbow. Right side double 1260, very, very big, shifty in there, whipping it round to switch, double Japan, switch double 12 with the spin at the beginning and then a nice cork 3 at the end with a little poke, like that. Left side double 10 out of the shark fin. That's a reasonable amplitude as well, and there looks like no speed checks into the QP, hitting it at a very different angle to what we've seen anybody else do. I really liked the line into the quarter pipe there.
Adrian Vodo, one of 7 Swiss skiers in Heat 2, 10 in the whole comp at qualification stage. So, I mean, this is a great opportunity for Swiss Ski to get some experience under the belts of the entire team at World Cup level, isn't it?
You get more spots, don't you, when you host it at home?
Yeah.
And yeah, like what a beautiful park. I think that was nice poke on the switch 12.
That was, wasn't
it?
it?
Really nice. You got to put a little bit of personality on anything you do. That was a good double 10 out of the shark fin too.
James Pouch out of Great Britain dropping in.
Left 3, nose tap, skis together nice and clean. Right 270, front 270 out, clean as a whistle thus far. Switch 2, back 450 off the top of that rainbow rail. Jacket check. Switch, right, double 10, squeaking the knuckle, not quite bringing it to feet.
Oh, such a shame.
That is disappointing.
It's running smoothly there. And I don't think it was the speed that was the issue, potentially the pop and the timing on the takeoff.
Timing on the takeoff. We saw it from Nicholas Bollinger earlier. He was leaning into the edges looking for that spring, just missed it. And then James Pouch sort of diving into the takeoff just a little early when he just had the moment to lift up and off that takeoff is what he was asking for. But again, sun's out. It's probably a bit hotter as we move through the day.
Back into...
Are you sure we're not giving out medals for mustaches?
I'm pretty positive, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate for our next skier.
Yep. Julius Fora, the Austrian. He got hooked up on that rail right at the very beginning. So watched him in front of his home crowd in Klagenfurt and Kreuzberg.
That's got to feel good to ride at home.
Ooh, he was so gun shy, wasn't he? He wanted that ski so clear of the rail.
Very much aware of how it went on run one.
Yeah, he signposted to the judges there that he wasn't that comfortable.
Right, 1260, catching a little bit of knuckle, but holding on to it. May have plenty speed onto this. Diving double, so it's double bio 12. He has picked up the pace, that's good. A recovery. Left 7. Slacking a little bit of amplitude, must be honest, Flare, rev mute, and he washes out in the transition right before the elbow.
Gutted.
No!
He was almost angry there, wasn't he, with his the tail of the skis, just smashing him into the elbow, straight down to the bottom of the lift.
We heard it from Eileen. If you don't, earlier when we watched the course preview and she explained very explicitly, if you don't land absolutely where you mean to off the quarter pipe on the bottom, it's going to eat you alive, those next rails.
Yeah.
That was the switch. That was the lip 2.
He's so frustrated by that. He's skied down to the LAAX Motorsheg. He's going to buy some flowers from the supermarket and beat them up. Going to knock all the petals off them. That's what I do when I get angry.
Is it?
Beat up some flowers. Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
I don't get angry that often. Okay, so Julius Fora, the Austrian, unfortunately not moving anywhere as we come in to, I think we're down to the last 6 skiers. So Vibjörn Graberg
with
Norwegian.
a stall, ollie to switch 2, pretzel front side 450 off the down dink. Switch 2, flipping it over, Misty 630 off the cannon. Whoa, 1440 tail. That was really nice. Absolutely locked in on that one. Right side double 12. Nice and far down the landing. Switch something or other. Landed backwards. He went out of frame. He went so big off the shark fins there. We didn't get to see it. That was a very nice switch. Alley-oop 720, I must say. 270 onto the waterfall. And yeah, he's claiming and he is stoked. It was top to bottom. He did make it. I think there may have been something to be desired on the last rail, but let's just see on the replays whether we get a good look at that shark fin. Yeah, that 14 was lovely. Right side, double 12, safety, bolts, middle landing, very nice. Here it is, switch, alley-oop. That was what I was not expecting, double 10. Now that was a good run. Let's hope that waterfall didn't bite him too much.
Okay. Cody LaPlante in the box.
All to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really unfortunately came unstuck, Cody, on the shark fin on run 1, but it was all beautiful up until that point.
Interesting, Kim Gubsa is supposed to be in before him, has decided not to drop. He thinks that second place is good enough. I'd agree with him. Yeah.
Wow. But didn't even take the run.
Yeah.
I hope he's not sore, but you never know, because he might be sore and just wanting to save the bod.
Yeah. Well, he's good day's work out there. Cody LaPlante on course.
So slick Rick, Cody LaPlante with that switch 1. Oh, you're joking. No, and he goes in the books with Ben Barclay as well. That just
double fault.
Just double faults it. Oh. Cody LaPlante not to advance when honestly his run was so gorgeous. It was a 270 onto the down flat down. Arguably the hardest rail to hit, not even arguably the hardest rail to hit up there, and he was looking for a big swap and he just didn't get that 270 on clean. I'm devastated to see Cody advance no further.
Okay, back into Heat 1 then, where we're about to see Colin Willey, one of those 10 Swiss, drop in.
What an excellent first run.
He's in 16th though, 65.25.
Oh my goodness, the caliber's so high today. Wow, to think Colin Willey's first run didn't cut it. Okay, well, all right, he knows how to be clean all the way through this course. This is, this is one to watch. Wow, yes, it's hard to keep up with the score sometimes, but my goodness, I would have thought I thought he'd be laughing with Kim Gubsa. Goes up, stalls, gnarly, 180 off, interesting approach onto the hitching post, but different is good. Switch slip 270, approach 270 off, switch 2, bounces onto a misty 450 off the cannon, switch, plenty speed on the first jump, switch, double 1260. Did you see the full cross? That mute was almost at equal signs again. Whoa, he's gone big. Boosts up on a double 1440 on the Twisted Sister. Left, double 10. Slightly small, but everything else has been magical in this run thus far. So it does play if he goes big in the QP, which he does. Big flare, rev mute, hold it together, 270 onto the waterfall, all the way through the drop, front 270 out. Surely that was clean as a bean.
Well, he's given it the nod, he's happy. Are the judges going to agree with him?
Man, it was awesome. It was awesome. That was fantastic. That's 2 fantastic runs. I mean, regardless of scores, he has to be happy with the way that he came out and skied today. I really liked the switch to the Misty 450 there. He bounced into it. But that was the highlight of the run, where he crossed up that mute grab all the way. That used to be defined as a Schiller mute, because he used to get it all the way that round. It was really cool. TJ Schiller, of course.
Like you said, almost an equal sign.
Yeah, back to parallel, scary. Especially after we saw Matej rip his ski off. Diving, backside, misty 630 off the cannon.
René Montiglione snuck that one in.
Totally. Oh, big switch double 14 off the sister. That was good. That was really nice. That was clean as you like. Oh no, switch down the pipe. Oh, double 9, but they all came unstuck on the takeoff. But for a minute we thought he'd saved it in the air. But again, another unlucky double fault.
That landing was like running into a brick wall.
Yeah.
I thought he'd made it. I thought he'd recovered.
I thought he'd recovered too.
And then he just literally headbutts the snow.
Yeah, that was absolutely ruthless. We might get to see where it went wrong on the takeoff of the shark fin. But goodness gracious, it was just a slip. It was just as he came up, the pressure's so strong. Even going forwards, the pressures are so strong.
Sneaks that one in, and then the ski on the shark fin just bobbles, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, wow. But then he recovered. Boom. And
luckily it's not the head down. We were further back on that cable cam, so glad to see that René's okay. Amazingly, that second run score did improve his first run score. He was sat on a 21.75. He got a 23.75 for that. Okay. Wow. Now let's have a look. Colin Willey's moved up into 11th. Pushed out James Kansler. Lucas Mullauer on the bubble spot now.
Wow.
Okay. So next up, Jeremy Gann of Canada. It's on that 18.25, currently in 27th.
A beautiful gnarly 180 over the hitching post to switch tail butter 450, clean as a whistle. A lot of people having trouble with that. Not this man. 270 on, front 630 off the cannon. Switch, diving, double. Oh, single Misty 900. Wise move as he was coming up short. Held it to 9, and he's going to play it out and see if he can squeak a few more points out of this run. It was clean as you like out of the shark fin. Double 1080, holding blunt. How's the line? Little bit of snow, shuffled away, but still some good amplitude on the alley-oop flare. 450 to switch. Now, how much are they going to eat him for the first jump?
I think pretty heavily.
Coming up
I
short.
mean, they're using execution as a stick and they're just beating the skiers with it.
Which, I mean, you got to. Because everyone's been
job.
amazing. It is their job too, yeah.
Like, you give them an excuse, they're going to jump on it. It's such a hard job splitting 60 skiers to find a cut of 24 when you've got this much talent. So they're not going to let anything slide. Okay.
T-Boat, no way, he's dropping to Who Let the Dogs Out. I love that. This is awesome. This is a way to get a hype. Switch 450 onto the down by. See how he locked that? Took it so well. Clean as a bean. Oh, what a... no, goodness.
Oh, he just didn't get the power, did he, off the rail?
No, and if you're going to whip that front 630 with such an interesting upside down flip in the middle there, you got to, exactly as you say, Ed, you got to grip that rail and you got to get the purchase that you need. Wow, how unfortunate for Tebow.
Okay. So T-Bot Man at the moment in 11th place. He's only got 2 skiers left to drop. Fadri Reiner and Cristobal Colombo. Let's go back across to Heat 1 though before that battle plays out. We've still got another 5 skiers to drop.
Nervous wait for T then.
Yeah. Lucas Ball out of New Zealand.
It was a nice first run. We liked it. It's similar to the way Cody LaPlante entering that first hitching post with that tap and then revert spin out. I like it a lot. Switch into the cannon, switch on, front side, a 450 out, disappeared in the trees across the valley there. Right side, a double 1080, nice and big, lots of speed as he enters the sisters. Left double 12, what a whopping! What a whopping bit of airtime, and it's switch. Heaps of speed going up, up, up on
That
the...
is so tech.
It almost like gripped in him and whipped him into that switch 9. Flat spin 360, switch, very calm, very cool.
Oh, backside just coming unstuck after all of that work.
There's nothing to say when the heartbreaker rail.
Yeah, it is. That's
You know what I
it
was
is,
about to
isn't
say? He came out at flat spin 360, so clean, so chill, had nothing to do, no movement. He went into that switch 2 backslide like with nothing to fear.
Oh, such a shame that.
And
Lucas
came
Ball
unstuck.
missing out, unfortunately. The young Kiwi was in 16th. There was the makings of a big run there.
It was. However, you know, still a lot to learn, you know, like fresh to this caliber of competition, you know, going big, putting a hand down there, getting an absolutely awesome line through the shark fin, you know, like that's the sort of amplitude you really want to see for the big doubles out of there. I'm sure some excellent experience from this LAAX Open.
Okay. So now Fadri Reiner, last skier in Heat 2, dropping.
Stalled 180 out, switch to front 2. Again, getting lost in the trees there, but I think it was switch on front side 450. Carving, left double 12, huge between the last and the second to last lines there. That was absolutely gorgeous, stuck the landing like it was nothing. Switch double 1260, double Japan. That was a really big double 1080 to the right, and oh my goodness, that was a little sit down. Who's on the bubble right now?
In Heat 1 or 2?
In Heat 1.
Heat 1 it is.
Oh, but they're safe at least, because that early off on the heartbreaking last rail.
I think the squat had already done it.
Yeah, I think you might be right too. I was excited.
I know you
Yeah, but it was so good. He went so big. And the thing is, he landed down there, way down, what do you call it, the thug zone. He landed down there, held it together with like no lack of composure, which after we've seen skiers like Hunter Henderson, for example, land at that same point with a similar styled of trick so heavily, you know, that the judges knocked him for it. Like, that just shows excellent technique. Boom! Look at that, wicked.
So Fadri Reiner was on a 31.5. That is going to improve, but let's go back over Heat 1 now. So Noah Viand out of France.
beautiful backside 360 swap on the hardest of the 3 options of rails, the down flat down, and front flip out of the cannon. It's the right side double 12. That was a really nice wrap into 12 actually. It looked like a 10 and then he put it to 12. I like that a lot. Switch 12, a beautifully relaxed switch 12 off the sister. Left. Could have been a nose butter double 12. It was a double 12 certainly. Did he take off that little early and get that nose butter in? We'll have to look from a different camera angle to see. Now the switch cork 720 on the quarter pipe was the only thing that posed hesitation. Did he land just a little earlier than he expected, and how are the judges going to handle it?
Oh,
Was that frustration?
I think it was tiny bit. Kid from Alpe d'Huez. Won a Europa Cup at the end of last season. It got him his World Cup spot.
I like that cannon. In fact, it looked like he was going to do the misty 450 off, and then he somehow like brought it back to forwards. Now he didn't go as big as we've seen some of the people go, but it was really clean. It was really nice. A slight miss of the grab on that one, and then the high up in the quarter pipe. Unfortunately, that's not. That might be just enough for the judges.
Okay, so 54 for run 2, so good enough for 21st at the moment. So
21st, valiant effort though.
yep, and we are sticking with Heat 1 now. So let's see, Leo Landro, kid who showed so much promise as a junior. He's been making his way through the senior ranks at World Cup level.
Switch 2, pretzel 270, clean as you like thus far. Switch onto the cannon, front side 630 off. It's switch into the first jump. Sleeves rolled up. I love that sort of confidence. I love that actually. Switch bio, double 1260 to start things off. Really big, really clean. Double 1080 out of the left side, sister. And now it's a real telling point is the shark fin, a double 900. I like that. We haven't seen many rotations of that way. This way came unstuck on run 1. He's gone big, landed on top, switch cork 7. Just play it off like you meant it, bruv. He told him that he didn't mean it, didn't he?
I was holding my breath. There wasn't a speed check in sight, and he was doing Mach 10 into that quarter switch.
Candide used to do that all the time.
Absolutely love that. Love that.
Man, if he'd have landed on top, boom, done a quick like 360 or 180 in, wouldn't have known. Wouldn't have known. And honestly, that's a shame because...
Oh, he's gutted, isn't he?
Oh,
Look.
why didn't he just hop to switch and played it off like he meant it? It was probably quite a lot of impact landing on the flat there.
If he'd have landed that, I would have given him first. That was
Yeah, you like that. I
anyone
like
going
it
in that quick to a quarter pipe switch.
Scary.
Gets all my respect.
This is the next round.
Yep, Fantine Tsiompi.
Nose, butter 270, grip. Little nose press out to forwards. No, 270. Backslide. 2 forwards on the rainbow. Forwards. Right side. Lean in double 1260. Really like that statement on the first jump. Whoa, 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 whoa. Was that a switch? Tail butter 900 with a poke off the right sister. That's solid. And then again, he's got that like forwards flipping 540 out of his rotations. That was a double 9. Switch tail butter. Possibly again. We got to see a replay to see what he did up top.
From my shout, that definitely was.
On the QP, but what about on the sister? Ooh. If we get a replay, it's the sister because it was really slick. I liked it. Even if it wasn't the tail, but it was really smooth takeoff, which sort of lent me into that. Oh, look at that. Rat packs out of there. Boom. I like that. You got to wait for your pals at the bottom.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All the boys at once. Okay, just Timo Laurinen left up at the top. He's currently in 10th place, so whether he wants to take another swing at this and see if he can move up the ranking. Yes, he's there. So last skier to drop today, Timo Laurinen. He knows he's qualified, so we can start running down. Mac forehand with some great work. Timo Laurinen. See if he can push his way up into those graphics and make it into the top 8.
It was a beautiful first run, and obviously the higher you qualify up, the more advantage you're going to get in that finals. Switch 270, back 2 out, big spin, backside 6, about 450 out of the cannon. Switch right side, double 1260, hanging onto that mute grab, went very big, very clean. Left 1260, again, really lots of amplitude. Switch, alley-oop. Bio 9 holds the blunt very, very clean. This carves beautiful into the quarter pipe. A big flare as he makes it onto the waterfall. Lip slide to forwards. Why? Oh no, it's okay because he's qualified. He's qualified.
He has qualified.
Yeah, okay, goodness me.
Almost the opposite problem to Leo Landro though. Leo Landro landing out on the deck, it felt like he popped right off the quarter, didn't it?
Yeah, had a lot of travel. And because that quarter pipe's sort of on that 45-degree angle, it's actually a really difficult, weird way in.
Right, so let's take a look through some of these. It's Timo Laurinen replays on course, but we've wrapped up both of the men's free skiing qualifiers. The top 12 in each of our heats will make it through to the final. So Mac Forehand, Birkrud, Eva McEachran, Max Moffat, Sebastian Scherv, like these names, Tormod Frostad, T-Pod, Henry Sildaru, Noah Porter McLennan, Timo Laurinen, who we've just seen, Colin Willey and Lucas Mullauer have made it through. But the best level of what we've just seen go down is perhaps in some of the names that didn't make it. Ben Barclay, Miro Tabernelli, and probably the biggest scalp to come in Heat 1 was none other than Mattis Vansa. So, yeah, a few big names not making it in Heat 1. Across to Heat 2. Andrew Rigetley with that 88 looking very strong. Then we've got Kim Gupsa, Jesper Schade, Valentin Morel, A-Hall, Hunter Henderson, Chris McCormick in there, the Scotsman, Connor Ralph, Oliver Magnussen, Fabian Bosch, Thibaut Magnin squeaking in, Axel Bermansen on the bubble, but again, Luca Harrington, Colby Stevenson, Fadri Reiner, Cody LaPlante, like big names there who haven't made it through.
It's unbelievable to see the likes of Colby Stevenson, Luca Harrington not make it through with fantastic runs. Devastated for Cody LaPlante, devastated for Ben Barclay. Plenty of others that really did deserve it but just couldn't put it down today. But Luca, Colby, amazing runs. I want to know what they needed to do.
Yeah, well, I'm going to send you down to the judges' booth to find out all about that.
Because there was obviously something, right? There's obviously something.
The judges
We're up
saw
here, they have
something,
a different
yeah.
feed. Like, it is different to be in this position to theirs.
And they can use as many replays as they want as well.
And they used it too. They thought long and hard about both of those runs. And we were surprised, but the fact that they took their time to figure it out, there's obviously something we missed.
The only thing that I would... Like, I'll accept anything if they've seen something, but if they're calling that nose butter landing a revert, if they're not judging that, I would be really upset. If I was Colby.
Me too, because that was an engineered, a structured, a defined, like deliberate movement. And we know Colby as well. He's not doing everything in qualifications. He's always going to hold something back. So if he's doing that in qualifications, you can only imagine what he's planning for semis and for finals.
Yeah, and you called it straight from the off. I was like, why is he going off the bottom of Twisted Sister? And you're like, he meant that, 100% he meant that.
Undoubtedly.
I mean, the skill it takes to once out of 2 shots make that landing and actually put pressure on those skis for 3 or 4 meters, which is exactly what he did. Was
Get
phenomenal.
That spring out for the 180 out, like that spring.
Because there's merit in the fact that you definitely get on merit you're allowed to be creative. It's not that something's easy. Even if they think technically it's not as hard as a 14 or a 16, no one else is doing it. So you get points for it being unique, and you also get points. I do think it was technically difficult.
I do, absolutely I do. I mean, the very fact that Colby Stevenson chose to do it, that's everything. He's one of world-class skiers, but what a lineup.
Okay, these are the confirmed results. Mac Forehand, Burke Rude, the two Canadians there, Moffat and McEachran, then the two Norwegians, little bit of symmetry there, 3rd to 6th.
Oh, yeah.
T-Pod in there, 2 Americans in the top 10, and then James Kansler just missing out, but Colin Willey and Lucas Mullauer in there. We talked about some of the names that didn't make it. Number 14 there, Mattis Vansa. We call him the least predictable skier in the world. If you wanted to see creativity, it would be summed up in Mate's runs, and sadly we're not going to see him in semis or finals. Leo Landro in there as well. We kept an eye out for him, that young Norwegian who's been on the up. Miro Tabanelli, a couple of big showings at the recent Big Airs, not able to translate that into a slope performance today. So that was qualification heat 1. Took the top 12 out of those 29 that skied. You can see Zhang Xiaohao down at the bottom there did not start. So let's take a look at the second runs. Weather's looking good.
Yeah,
for men's snowboard slope this afternoon. Be interesting to see. I'm going to go and get some intel on how the course was running speed-wise, because we saw such a different take. People clearing to the 5th landing, people really struggling to get over knuckles.
Yeah, it was a very interesting day on the speed, because obviously some people going huge, and then some people knuckle in, as you say, and then there was that moment in the middle of the day where the clouds came in a little bit, and you spotted, you know, the specks of precipitation on the goggles, on the lenses, and then one moment it just sort of came down for like 2 people's runs. So there was a change in the weather as we went through, but again, it's clearing up really beautifully as we move through the day now. So
Okay, well, we're going to wrap things up. I'll give you a quick rundown of the second heat there. Andrew Rigetti, Kim Gubsa, Jesper Schade, Valentin Morel, Ahol, Hunter Henderson, Chris McCormick, Connor Ralph, Oliver Magnussen, Fabian Bosch, Thibaut Magnin and Axel Bermansen, the top 12 going through from that one. Thank you for joining us for the Freeski Slopestyle qualifiers here. We're going to be back in just under an hour at 2 p.m. with the men's snowboard slopestyle qualifiers. Can't wait for that one. Same caliber of snowboarders as we've had skiers. It is going to be an absolute showdown.
We'll start with heat number 1, run number 1. So please, only heat number 1. Get in for the training, heat number 2. Make your way to the no name, grab a coffee, and enjoy the beautiful weather here in LAAX. Heat number 2, as we said, tomorrow afternoon, heat number 2, training and qualification.
On position 6 there, Colby Stevenson is in. That is why the time was taken.
Bermansen been taken down.
Axel Bermansen has moved out. So big news there. Right at the last, the judges have changed their mind about Colby Stevenson, and it's a 79 for his second run.
I've never, ever seen a change of heart like that.
There's 30 minutes before judges have to confirm the results.
No
so
way.
They've had a full discussion about that. Great spot there, Woodsy. So justice has been served. The biggest talking point rectified there. We thought we were out, but those graphics took a bit of time to come in. But Colby Stevenson is in 6th at the expense, sadly, of Axel Bermansen, who ends up in 13th. Thibaut Magnin on the bubble. We're going to wrap things up. We're back at 2 p.m. with snowboard slopestyle qualifiers in the men's. A full heavy hitting heat. We'll see you then.